All right, over on the East Bank going westbound, we've got stop-and-go traffic there at exit 47A and 46AB. Then Metro Center, a disabled vehicle going northbound, blocking the right shoulder. That's 65 northbound there at Rosa Parks Boulevard, exit 85. I'm Ken Weaver.
Hello, kids. I feel like I'm yelling over the music, but we'll get here. How you doing, folks? Hey, friends, what's going on? It's a Monday edition of the Matt Murphy Radio Show getting underway for another day. Happy to have you with us on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Matt Murphy, conveniently enough, and we host proceedings until 7 o'clock tonight on this radio station and on multiple other platforms. We'll tell you about all of those just a moment from now. Thank you to all of you who choose to be here. There are many choices on your radio dial and otherwise, and we appreciate that you have chosen us. I appreciate Jackson Williams coming back for another week of fun and frivolity. He's behind the glass, making sure that everything that comes out of our speakers sounds as good as possible. Hello, young Jackson.
Matt, I have some breaking news.
Do you have the breaking news horn?
No, but this is troubling. I don't want to trivialize this breaking news. It is troubling and saddening.
There's nothing trivial about the breaking news horn. I think you should do the breaking news horn if you have
this
breaking
is big
news.
Breaking news.
This is the official Matt Murphy breaking news sounder. No, that's not it. That's not the one. Do you want me to come in there and hit it? Okay, I mean, this is pretty big breaking news if it merits this.
We've got a damn Oklahoma fan reading the news.
Yes, sir.
Oh, you didn't realize that, did you?
This is just...
And it's going to be slanted.
I just don't know if we can go through this week with unbiased reporting from our news closet.
Okay, can we continue this discussion right after I get the news horn? Because I really want the news horn. I really want the breaking news horn. Thank you. See, that's good. That would have been great. I mean, I appreciate
the grand gesture.
I understand that. So you just realized as you were sitting down getting yourself
I turned around over my left shoulder and I saw the most disgusting red I've seen since September the 13th.
Oh, boy, oh, boy.
Ooh, you really going to be upset November 1st,
Oh,
dude.
September the 13th. Oh, yeah, I remember that day. That was a good day. You remember that day?
Jackson.
Look at him now. By the way, excuse me, Jackson, I just need to introduce the third party to this
go ahead.
little fun ship here, and that is Ken Weaver. He is our illustrious newsman. He gathers headlines all throughout the afternoon, delivers them twice an hour, and when it breaks, and I don't think there's anything breaking about that news. Hello, Ken.
How about you boys?
How you doing?
I'm doing good.
I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad to hear it. I am officially Switzerland on this radio show for this week.
Yeah, you just do the news.
No, you pick a side.
I just do the talk radio show, boys.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you think I need to pick a side?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, then I'm picking the side of Ken Weaver.
I'm fine with it.
Oh, yes, sir.
One-man army.
One man. Yeah, you don't have any friends. You don't have any friends around. Hey, by the way, I want to know where all you Tennessee folk are buying the new iPhone 17 because apparently they have orange ones in stock and they don't have blue ones in stock. And I'm not.
That's not the right orange, Matt. That's Texas orange.
You think so?
Yes.
See, I thought that too. I thought maybe that was the reason behind it.
And nobody wants that ugly brown.
Mm-hmm. Are you going to be this sassy all week?
Yes.
Okay.
More sassy.
Okay. All right.
Are we wearing costumes on Friday?
Yeah, we certainly can if a Georgia football shirt and a football hat's a costume, then
Football.
maybe.
I'm going to come as Oklahoma's biggest fear, the red zone.
How am I going to match this?
Ken, you know what? It's like that famous line in National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation when Cousin Eddie's talking about snots.
Yes.
Word of warning, though, Clark, when he gets going on you,
just
let him finish. Just let him finish. I feel that's how Jackson's going to be throughout the course of the week. You excited about that Kentucky victory, by the way, Jackson?
It was a bye week. Tennessee didn't play. They just went up to Kentucky for some team bonding.
Y'all won me some good money on my FanDuel account. Thank you very much.
They did sprints up and down on Kentucky's field. They just did some conditioning.
Y'all, I was 4 for 4 on FanDuel this weekend. Why is FanDuel not paying me money?
They need to.
They need to be. I was 4 for 4 on FanDuel this weekend. I didn't put any money on the Oklahoma Ole Miss game, but I won the Texas thing. I thought Mississippi State would play that close, and they did. I won the Kentucky game because Kentucky is, Kentucky.
They're horrible.
They're not very good.
Tennessee ran 4 verticals and scored 56 points.
And I won the A&M LSU game. Won that one too. They were all SEC contests that I played this weekend. Man, oh man, I had a great time. Watching football when your team's off
it's fun.
Is fun.
You don't have to worry about it.
You don't have to concern yourself. You don't have a game coming up. You don't have one on. You just I enjoy. Man, Saturday I sat down. I started watching Vandy. I was watching. I mean, it was so nice.
Yeah.
And I was rooting for the Mississippi State Bulldogs. Let me tell you, there's no team in the SEC that deserves a quality victory more and just keeps having it ripped out of their back pockets than Mississippi State. And I'm so concerned because Georgia plays them later on, a couple of weeks from now, over there. And I'm like, man, they're going to win one of these things. They're going to win one of these things. And then there's your game, Ken. I felt bad for you.
Dude.
Great defense. The defense deserves better. And there's something wrong with Mateer. I feel like there's something wrong with him.
It's called missing completely wide open receivers. Completely wide open.
Yeah.
And if he does see them, he's throwing it over their heads.
I mean, y'all could get you. I mean, there's some quality coaches available, Ken. There's Brian Kelly. I don't know.
Here's the deal, dude. We were running. Mississippi, Ole Miss's defensive line was sucking eggs. We were running.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, we decided, I know what's a good plan, boys.
Let's
stop doing what's working and try something that won't.
They need to keep trying that on Saturday.
That's the way I feel about Mike Bobo in the third quarter, a lot of games. Oh, we're up by 2 touchdowns. Let's start just running the ball right up the middle and see what happens. Oh, they're stopping us. That's odd.
I mean, nothing against Ole Miss has got they got a really good offense, man.
It's a quality program.
They've got some NFL players on that offense.
Well, I felt for you. I texted you. There was one person on this afternoon show texted you and thought about you, Ken, and that was Matt Murphy. The other guy,
I thought about
you, Ken, but I thought, ooh, he's going to be mad.
You should have been rooting for Oklahoma this week, you dummy, because you get them off a high victory and then get in there. That's the way that works.
They have to come into the absolute storm that is Neyland at night. You haven't seen Neyland at night.
Let me tell you how to win that game, Ken. Just
leave it to the kicker at the end of the game.
Leave it to the kicker at the end of the game. You'll be good.
Well, we got the defense for that.
Boop. Right off to the right.
How was y'all's corners, Ken?
Jackson said he thought it was good, didn't you?
I did. I yelled. I was getting ready to rush the field.
True story. Okay.
Our corners are pretty good. They're freshmen, but they're pretty good.
Freshman corners. Chris Brazzell going to eat.
Oh, boy. Okay, well, you know what? I don't know if that's the official Action Jackson Sports Minute, but it feels like it on the News Talk radio station.
Joey Aguilar better get ready. He is going to be running for his life.
Well, I like
Nico
this.
didn't last year.
We are coming for little Joey.
See,
he's not little.
See,
he's going to look real little underneath that.
Mom and Daddy are fighting, and I'm playing in the yard. I have nothing to do with it.
We're coming for him, Brother Jackson. You better tell Josh Heupel, who I love, one of my favorite Sooners of all time, he better be getting rid of that ball in 2 seconds.
He can.
2 seconds, Jackson.
Because we're coming.
We'll open them up with some screens, and then we'll just throw a deep ball to Chris Brazzell for a touchdown.
Ain't gonna work.
This will be happening throughout the week on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. But I like the feistiness of Weaver. Yeah, you thought you were going to get a laydown Weaver. There's no laydown Weaver this week.
No, sir.
No, he's fighting back.
We got to win this game. We have got to win this game.
How many losses you got, Ken?
2.
You know how many losses you can handle at the end of the season and expect to get in the playoffs?
No more.
No more. 2. That's it.
That's it.
So you can't have any more losses.
We got to win this game.
This is the Alamo. Oh, wait.
Tennessee won the Alamo.
Tennessee did not win the Alamo. Davy Crockett was a part of that, and I think the Mexicans won that.
Oh, they took that one?
Yeah, that's why we remember it.
Was there a field goal at the end, or?
No.
We struggle with that.
Just a lot of shootings. A lot of death.
Oh, it was basketball.
Hey, did you watch your movie this weekend?
I did. I liked it.
We're going to do a movie review later on.
Yeah, that's
Murphy,
right. You boys had your movie.
Murphy movie Mayhem Payoff is happening later
I
on
watched
today.
your movie and my movie this weekend.
We got Weaver on Williams violence all week on the Matt Murphy Show. Very excited about that.
There's going to be a street fight in the G10 parking lot.
What's the G? Is that our parking lot?
No, that's the one at Neyland Stadium.
Are you going, Ken?
I'm going.
I'm going.
Jennifer and I are going.
Yeah.
Oh, she bought her brand new hoodie.
Oh,
and
I
it
love
arrives tomorrow.
You better watch out. If you tell Jackson you're going, he'll try to bum a ride from you, Ken. I
already
know that
got
on
one.
personal experience. You want to tell everybody where you're sitting, Jackson, while we're just talking about sports?
I am sitting in the Lower West Club of Neyland Stadium.
Mm-hmm. And whose seats are those?
That would be one Peyton Manning's.
Is that real?
Yes, that is real. That is confirmed.
I'm going to come up there and see you.
It's down there, Ken. I'm down.
I'm going to come down there and see you.
You should do that, Ken. So you are in legitimately, you're in Peyton Manning's seats?
Yes.
Okay. Jackson, I understand that based on your presence on this radio show, you're probably a little bit of a bigger deal than you've been. But how in the hell? You're not this big of a deal.
I have good friends.
I don't understand how you pulled this.
I know people.
I mean, when I got into Neyland Stadium, I could only get up to Randy Boyd level, which I felt like was a pretty good pull. I felt like that was pretty good, right? President of the university system.
Sounds good to me.
Sounds good to me. You got to Peyton Manning level, which is, I think, a level or two. That's like C's part.
Some would say.
A godlike aura around the stadium. Oh,
so what you're saying is I got pretty good seats.
I think you got pretty good seats, Jackson. I don't understand how you did it.
Me neither.
Oh, there you go.
I'm happy to be there.
Have you been to Neyland, Ken?
I've only been outside of it.
Ken, this is going to be an experience for you.
I can't wait. I'm
because
really
this
looking
is
forward
it's
to
loud.
So it's not
loud.
It's not necessarily because it's Oklahoma. Oklahoma is obviously a very, very big game. This will be the only night game in Neyland Stadium
This year.
They
This-
only
this
had
season.
one night game?
This is our only night game unless Vanderbilt ends up being a night game, but I doubt it. Because the Iron Bowl always gets the night game.
Yeah.
So it'll be the only night game we have in Neyland this season. It is the dark mode game where Tennessee comes out in the black uniforms.
I've been seeing that.
Oh,
yeah.
that's great. That's a great opportunity to just destroy them.
No, this is I think a top 3 toughest environment type of evening in college football. I think it'll be the best environment across the country this week.
Yeah.
And it is going to be a tough place to win for a
yeah.
road team this weekend.
Well, yeah, especially if our quarterback can't open his eyes and hit an open wide receiver.
Yeah, that's true.
John,
It's going to be
here.
loud. Matt, you thought it was loud against Georgia?
I mean, yeah, it was
They're
loud.
going to
It was loud.
They're going to up it about 50%.
It was loud until the field goal went wide right, and then it got very quiet.
It's going to be about 130 decibels.
And then it was pretty quiet during the entirety of overtime.
We're going to use hand signals. We'll be all right.
That's a good.
I
good
use
plan.
a lot of hand signals during the game.
Yeah,
Most of them obscene.
he used a hand signal right after that field goal miss.
No, that was the surrender cobra.
It is a tough. I mean, it is a fun environment to play.
I can't wait, man. I am really looking forward
Yeah,
to it.
you've been during the afternoon. That was a fun environment. This is hostile.
I mean, that stadium is. I mean, it.
102,000.
Yeah, and it's
A lot of people.
It's historical. I can't wait. I cannot wait for it.
And those referees better call it even. There will be mustard.
We'll see about that, dude. These SEC refs, man, I'm starting to sometimes. I'm
Man,
like,
it was
what?
it was no good this weekend either. There was some calls. It was very, very confusing. I don't pretend to understand what is what, and I don't. For the life of me, I don't understand why they insist on some actions on the field they say are non-reviewable when they should be reviewable. And I understand judgment calls, pass interference, and that sort of thing. But, like spot foul, I don't know. I don't pretend to understand it anymore. They are under more scrutiny than they ever have been, obviously, because you got 28 cameras at every game. You got replay at every game. And I get all of that.
You're right.
But my goodness gracious, you got one job. And it's not that you get it wrong. I don't mind them getting it wrong on the front end occasionally. I understand. They're human beings. These fellows are moving at lightning speed, and they're crashing into one another, and things happen at lightning speed. But you've got all the time in the world, and you've got review. I don't understand how you don't repair it on the back end and get it right on the back end. And this coming from a Georgia fan who felt like the ball was moving before that Auburn fella crossed the goal line, Jackson Arnold. I mean, so.
I will have my mustard at the ready.
You said there will be mustard, and I pictured him, Ken. Daniel Day-Lewis as Daniel Plainview, and There Will Be Blood. I got him in that big old hat.
Yes.
And I got him out there, and he's got mustard streaked across his face like it's oil. And there's a big derrick of mustard in the back. And you can see Neyland Stadium back there, and just whoosh. And there's a little Boomer Sooner in the back.
That'll be me.
There's Ken Weaver.
It's going to be loud.
Oh, I can't wait.
All right, that's enough sports. 22 after the hour, we've done our duty. It is episode 911 of the Matt Murphy Radio Show, this Monday edition, October 27th. You can find us in a variety of places, 99.7 FM. Obviously, tune in, Spotify, iHeart. We have our own app. You can find our own app at Supertalk 99.7 WTN. Just download that app and take us wherever you go. And then Talk TV, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Rumble. We appreciate you being here on Supertalk 99.7 WTN. Hello, friends. Let's talk for a moment about Dr. Brian McLaughlin and the fine staff at the Tennessee Sleep Apnea and TMJ Solution Center. I want to remind you of a couple of things. Number one, if you are snoring, the possibility of you having sleep apnea is pretty high. But even if you're not snoring and you're not sleeping throughout the course of the night, if you wake up gasping for breath, if you find yourself up throughout the course of the night and you don't understand why, might I suggest that this could be sleep apnea and you need to get tested. The team at Tennessee Sleep Apnea and TMJ Solution Center want to try to help you in that regard. And furthermore, if you do have sleep apnea, did you know that there's a device that I own because of the Sleep Apnea Center that fits into your mouth? It's custom made for your mouth. It fits in, and you sleep with it throughout the course of the night. You don't notice it after a night or two, and you sleep throughout the night. You breathe better. You have more energy. It is truly life-changing, and you can eliminate some of the health hazards that come with sleep apnea in the process. That's what it's all about. And they're in-network with most insurance. It's a no-brainer right now, folks. Many of you have met your deductibles. Let's take advantage of that by scheduling that appointment with Dr. McLaughlin. Murfreesboro and Brentwood, it's the Sleep Apnea and TMJ Solution Center. Find them online at TennesseeSleep.com. TennesseeSleep.com. Hello, friends. It's Matt Murphy, and we're really lucky to have a place like Genesis Diamonds around these parts. In a sea of corporate jewelry stores, Genesis is a refreshing alternative. Local owners, Genesis can always stay ahead of the pack with bigger selection, new and trending styles, more pricing flexibility, stronger warranties, and higher quality standards. That's what it's all about. And as we head into holiday season, Genesis is fully stocked and ready. Case after case of dazzling jewelry. Rings, earrings, bands, bracelets, colored gemstone jewelry, luxury pre-owned Rolex watches, and much, much more, all at the guaranteed best value around. And no commission to salespeople, which is nice to me. No pressure ever at Genesis Diamonds. They've got all of the top designer rings as well, so if you're looking for something special for that loved one in your life, they've got it. They're never going to treat you like a number. They're going to treat you like a member of the community because that's exactly what you are. Genesis Diamonds, they're my jeweler, and I want them to be yours. Green Hills and Cool Springs, tell them Matt Murphy sent you to the one and only Genesis Diamonds.
Accused quadruple murderer Austin Drummond was back in court today, and wait until you find out why they're having to move him. We'll tell you about it at 3:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
All right, now Jackson has put the you put the pressure on all of us on the Murphy Show on Super Talk 99.7 WTN that we have to dress up on Friday.
All right.
All right.
I'm coming as Matt Murphy.
Okay. I'd love to see what that looks like, Jackson. I'd love to see that. 95-20. Let me just put the capper on all of this sports talk.
Yes, sir.
And we'll move on to some other matters that are happening. Some breaking news, as a matter of fact, happening right now. Ken and Jackson need to settle all of this by wrestling shirtless.
Yeah.
Says 95-20.
All right.
Ken's in, Jackson. You in?
Yeah.
Mindy writes in.
I didn't like that because he said like he's too eager.
Yeah. Mindy writes in and says, hey, didn't Jackson need your help getting to the game with seats, and now he has Peyton Manning seats? Yes, Mindy, that is correct. Now you note the tinge of bitterness in my voice as I talk about this. Jackson gained entry to the Tennessee-Georgia game through assistance by Matt Murphy, and now suddenly he's hobnobbing with Peyton Manning.
Well, it's like Brother Jackson said. He knows people.
He knows people. TB wants you to explain the mustard, Jackson. He says, I've never heard of that before. Go right ahead.
So, back in 2021, Neyland Stadium, night game, first sold-out night game under Josh Heupel, and the referees were horrible that night, including calling a fumble, not a fumble, that Tennessee returned for a touchdown. Tennessee loses that game by 4, by the way. Just wanted to point that out. Mm-hmm. Joe Milton runs out of bounds at the end of the game, and Tennessee got fed up with the referees, and, Lane Kiffin's having players, this was before the rule about faking injuries. Uh-huh. So Tennessee would get set, and then an Ole Miss player would go down.
Oh, man.
Happened all throughout the game, and Tennessee fans were tired of it.
Cramps.
There was it was November at night.
Got the cramps.
It was November at night.
It's hot. Hot down there.
I was wearing a sweater.
Much hotter on the field, Jackson. Hot.
I was sitting third row and wearing a sweater.
So y'all were trying to help him out?
No, we were throwing
a cold mustard plaster.
So not me. Because I was more playing dodge the garbage.
Yeah.
So, because sitting third row, these people don't have very good aim. So I probably made a couple onto the field just by deflections. But I saw a full water bottle nail a tuba player.
Ooh, yeah, I remember that, man.
That was bad.
That was getting dangerous.
It was bad.
And somebody threw a whole mustard bottle onto the field. That ESPN then zoomed in and got a shot of.
Right.
And there's more garbage raining down.
And it begged the question, why did a fan?
They probably got it from the concession stand. They probably just stole it.
It's so they went to the debris situation started, someone left their seat, said, "Excuse me for a moment, I need to go over to the concession stand," walked to the concession stand 28 miles away, got themselves a bottle of mustard, and came back and then threw it on the field?
Yes.
I think this Tennessee fan had mustard in their pants.
Why?
Thank you. I don't know.
Mustard is free at the stadium.
It makes
it's the only thing that's free.
It makes as much sense to me. Why don't y'all have those large dispensers of mustard? Come on.
Okay, so here's the thing.
Vols?
This was the first sellout, like real sellout, that Tennessee had my entire time in college.
Huh.
So they were not the security wasn't exactly prepared.
So y'all don't support your team when you're not doing well.
The Pruitt era wasn't. I mean, I went to every game.
That's interesting.
I was there. I was there when we lost to Georgia State. I was there when we lost to BYU. I was there that night when we lost to Ole Miss.
Brian writes in and says, "I don't think you should mess with any fan that brings their own mustard to a football game." You're right.
Somebody also threw a golf ball and hit Lane Kiffin with the golf ball.
I think he kept that, right?
He did.
It's my
Sits on his desk.
It's my understanding that mustard is, in some cases, used to alleviate cramps. So maybe they were trying to help the Ole Miss players, Ken. You never know. I think it's time for the news, fellas, and then we'll move on to the news of the day to include SNAP benefit. I'm going to tell you how all of this is going to end with a government shutdown. And it's not going to be pretty for the Democrats. They are now trying to figure out their way out of this in a way that they can save face. We'll talk about it next on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. And right now in Tennessee, accused quadruple murderer Austin Drummond was back in court today, but not for the Tiptonville murders this time. He faced charges from a prior prison incident involving drugs and attempted murder. Prosecutors still plan to seek the death penalty in the July case where Drummond is accused of killing 4 family members and abandoning a baby. He continues to deny involvement, claiming he was a confidential informant whose cover was blown. Hurricane Melissa churning in the Caribbean, and forecasters say it's on track to be the worst storm to ever hit Jamaica. Conditions will begin to deteriorate tonight and into tomorrow. ABC News meteorologist Melissa Griffin also says Melissa is currently a Cat 5 storm. Maximum sustained winds of 175 miles per hour.
The intensity could fluctuate a bit just before landfall, but still a major catastrophic hurricane as it makes landfall on Jamaica by tomorrow morning. And then it will weaken a bit, but then it makes another landfall in parts of Cuba, still as potentially a major hurricane. This is by Wednesday, Tuesday night into Wednesday.
That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. East Bank going westbound. Still stop-and-go traffic, according to TDOT there, between exits 47A and 46AB. And then in Brentwood, we got a crash. On-ramp partially blocked. 65 southbound from Old Hickory Boulevard. And then over here on the North Loop, going northbound at Rosa Parks, disabled vehicle on the right shoulder. I'm Ken Weaver.
You know, there is an auto repair shop right here in Nashville, Tennessee, and the surrounding area that pays his mechanics more than any other repair shop, and that is Eurofix. Now, you would think as a result of that Eurofix is automatically the most expensive shop around. Not so, friends. Allow me to explain. A decent tech normally makes around $50,000 or $60,000 a year. A good tech that's pretty fast can make more than that over $100,000 a year, and a really, really great technician, one of the best of the best, can make in the neighborhood of $150,000 a year. A lot of people look down on mechanics, and they should not. You need a mechanic to keep the world working, really. My grandpa was a mechanic, and so I appreciate Aaron Stokes and what he does at Eurofix. The mechanics make the world go round, and they pay them appropriately at Eurofix. Why? Well, because they believe in it. They believe better paid mechanics equals a better prepared mechanic equals a better fixed car. I mean, they fix your automobile without any questions, and they keep the prices lower than the competition, lower than the dealer, because they have a lower overhead point. 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty on all repairs at Eurofix, plus rental cars available with every appointment, 5 separate locations. Call today, 844-EUROFIX. That's 844-EUROFIX, or visit online at myEurofix.com. Hey, friends, it's Matt Murphy. Defense Systems is a life safety and security consultation firm based right here in Middle Tennessee. You guys have heard me talking about Brink and his team. They're so good at what they do. I first experienced their sessions right here at Cumulus Nashville. We had Brink and his team in to help us understand what to do in the event of rapid response medical necessity, active shooter response, workplace violence, all of that available to you and your teammates at your place of business, your school, your church, any place that people gather. Brink is simply the best at helping you understand what to do, what not to do in the unlikely event, and it is unlikely, but it is the possibility of you having to deal with a workplace violence situation or a security incident is not zero. Plus, the tools that you learn in this class will also assist you, just generally speaking, in life. You learn how to deal with medical issues that pop up from time to time in life in general. Plus, they help you understand what to do at your facility, at your workplace, at your school, at your church, in case something happens in a negative way. DefenseSystems.com is the website, DefenseSystems.com, or reach out today at 615-236-6484, 236-6484. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. It's the Matt Murphy Radio Show. Pleased you've decided to join us. The mainstream media gaslighting continues. I don't really have any comment on this, but I'm going to play you a little clip from MSNBC that landed earlier today right in my lap. It's amusing, to say the least. 3502 on the super text line, which is open and available. Our phone lines are always available, by the way. I keep them open all the time. Absolutely love having conversations with you. It's old school. I'm old school that way. 615-737-9986 if you'd like to have a direct one-on-one communication. 615-737-9986.
Could have stopped right after the word old.
Thank you, Jackson. If you would like to conversely speak to us via the text line, then that is the same telephone number. It's just via the text line. And 3502 writes, "You're failing to understand about the mustard, Matt. They are college students. They need the mustard for their dorm rooms. They can't afford to buy it. So clearly these people had already stolen the mustard to take it home. Then the incident broke out, and they threw it on the field." That makes much more sense. Tennessee fans as thieves makes much more sense to me. So there you go. Speaking of stealing one, we stole one in Neyland Stadium earlier this year. Ha! Hey-oh! Thank you, Ken. Ken thought that was funny. Jackson?
Oh, hey-oh!
Not so much. Not so much. All right. Somebody wants to know where Y2J was when they lost to Wyoming. When was that? When was that, Jackson?
I want to say that was 2008, maybe.
All right. So you were a youngster.
Yeah, I went to my first Tennessee game in 2010.
Okay. So that was you taught him. Yeah, I got you. Okay. Jackson's a youngster. Y'all have to remember all of that. All right. Let's get into the government shutdown, shall we? So the government remains shut. I don't know what day we're on. I don't really care. I don't. I mean, I understand that you probably do if you are impacted or affected, and there are some that are impacted or affected. I'd like to remind you, and I know that many of you heard this last week, but it bears repeating for those in the back. For those of you in Aniana who have trouble comprehending plain English, allow me to explain. There is one group of people responsible for the government being shut down right now. And that group of people is Senate Democrats. Not all of them. There are a couple of Senate Democrats that would like to reopen the government. But for the most part, the government shutdown is the responsibility of one group of people, and we can call that group of people Senate Democrats, led by Chuck Schumer. For whatever reason, I've never believed that the Senate cares necessarily about certainly the Senate Democrats. I don't think they care about the average folks. They just don't. They will claim that they do, but they don't. If they did, they would open up the government and have a healthy debate that the Republicans have said that they are willing to have regarding health insurance, regarding Obamacare, because I think it's important that we talk about what Obamacare did and did not accomplish. I think it's important that we have a discussion about the promises that were made some 10 years ago regarding Obamacare. I guess it's 15 years ago now. We were told upon passage of Obamacare that this would put an end to the poor level of health care that many Americans saw in their lives. We were told that this would solve that issue, and it did not. Well, those of us who were around back then, who were commenting on the news back then, said back then, and I am included in that number, that none of this is designed to work. All of it is designed to fail. It will naturally collapse upon itself in less than 2 decades. And I get very animated when I have this discussion with you because we could have avoided a lot of pain and suffering and a tremendous amount of wasted money by recognizing that it was a Ponzi scheme to begin with. We're dangling this shiny object in front of the American people and making promises that the person or the people or groups of people holding the shiny object know very well these individuals will never receive. And they're doing it for their own purposes, and their purposes was a single-payer system. Barack Obama and his minions in the House and the Senate understood that the American people did not want a single-payer system. And so they had to move us toward a system that would get us closer to it and at the same time not achieve the objectives that they promised that it would achieve, so that when that program broke, they could suggest that it be replaced not by a total revamp of the medical industry or the healthcare industry, but by doubling down on what was already not working. In other words, we would get halfway to single payer, and we would get all the way to single payer once we could vilify those mean, evil health insurance organizations, et cetera, et cetera. Y'all with me so far? So none of this was designed to work. And part of the reason that we are here is by Democrat design. Chuck Schumer was there back then. Nancy Pelosi was there back then. Many of these people were there when they forced the passage of this bill, did it in the dark of night, did not read it to pass it. And they knew that we would eventually get here at some point. Now they are using the failure of Obamacare as an excuse to shut down the government because they lost the elections in 2024. Is exactly what this is. They didn't like the outcome of the democratically contested election of 2024. And part of that outcome was the big, beautiful bill. Now, understand, this is not a debate about the big, beautiful bill. I was against the big, beautiful bill because I didn't think it cut enough, and I thought it added too much to the federal deficit, a federal deficit that is swiftly approaching $40 trillion. 40 trillion. So I didn't believe it did enough. But the Democrats don't like some of the cuts that it did make, and now they are attempting to go against the duly elected representatives of the people by holding the American government hostage with this continuing resolution, demanding that key aspects of the big, beautiful bill, mostly spending packages, get rolled back into the federal government. Well, that's not the way any of this works, nor should it. If you are confused as to the responsible parties who are shutting the government down, I don't know what to tell you except you're not paying attention. There's one group that has voted 13 separate occasions to keep the government shut. There's one group of people that have voted on 13 separate occasions to refuse to reopen the government and to sit down at a table of negotiation and to talk about issues like health care and to talk about issues like spending. And that's the Democrats. That's the Democrats. The health care issue has nothing to do with the continuing resolution. Nothing. They're tying those issues together, and the mainstream media will not tell you this because they are mouthpieces for the Democrats. They are cuckolds for the Democrats. And if you wonder why they don't harp on the government shutdown every moment of every day, like they did when Donald Trump was president, like they did in 2013 when Barack Obama was president, like they've done every government shutdown in my lifetime, it's because they know the truth. They simply will not tell you the truth because it looks bad for the Democrats. This is the bias of non-reporting. This is how bias looks when it comes in the form of keeping their mouths shut about an issue as opposed to reporting the truth. And the truth is simple. When SNAP benefits don't come along on November 1st, the responsibility lies at the feet of the Democrats. Period. Tell me how I'm wrong. I'm willing to listen to any other perspective on this, but I cannot abide selective hearing when it comes to the truth with regard to responsibility here. The Republicans have said, we will negotiate. But here's the deal. The Democrats don't have a majority in the House. They don't have a majority in the Senate, and they sure as hell don't have the White House right now. So the Democrats need to come hat in hand when it comes to negotiation and recognize you're not going to get all of everything. You're not going to get all of anything. You're not in the majority. You lost the election. Start acting like it. It makes me want to vomit that these people run around the country holding rallies, claiming to believe in our system of government when they clearly do not believe in our system of government. If they did, they would have a modicum of respect for the vote of the people. Instead, the same people that were lampooning Trump for calling the 2020 election rigged are now calling the 2026 midterms rigged. Hakeem Jeffries, the Senate Minority Leader. Oh, the 2026, they're rigging the elections in 20. What are you talking about? I thought that was bad. I thought that was anti-democratic. Oh, the gaslighting it is something to see. But here's how I would expect some of this is about to go down. Number one, you saw a major federal union come out and demand that some activity happen. The nation's largest federal workers union, the American Federation of Government Employees, well, and I could have a side conversation about government entities unionizing, but I'll save that for another day, is encouraging Democrats to concede the government shutdown fight and vote to reopen the government. a significant fracture, if you will, in the coalition of Democrats as the shutdown nears a 1-month mark. It's been going 27 days now, I guess it is. The Democrats refused to back a clean CR, first time in history, demanding instead that the government Republicans in government extend temporary Obamacare subsidy set to expire at the end of the year. By the way, those government subsidies were set to expire per the language of the legislation. Secondarily, when we say that Democrats are putting the desires that they have to aid and assist illegal aliens in front of the needs of the American citizen, what we mean is this in simple. Anyone recognizing these rules that you must abide by regarding the subsidy recognizes that there are extreme loopholes within the subsidies. And if you go back to COVID-level era subsidy, then you are essentially opening up government paid for health care to illegal aliens, because that's exactly what was happening based on the rules and the lack of questioning and the lack of material data that you have to present at the time that you're requesting the subsidy. If you go back to those COVID-era rules, you are opening the door to every illegal alien in the United States of America being eligible for health care, needs-based health care, free health care. And all of these liberals on social media platforms and all of these liberals on talking head networks, they know that that's true. And they'll sit there and say they don't. Well, they're lying. That debate has nothing to do with budgeting for the government. Yet the Democrats have decided to tie it together because they think it's a winning argument. It's not a winning strategy, and we're seeing some cracks in that armor. 53 after the hour. We'll continue that discussion, get to your telephone calls momentarily on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Guys, I'm going for my second treatment tomorrow. Very excited about it. It's Contours LLC. They're located in Cool Springs. These guys are in a class by themselves. They use medical-grade red light technology to reduce fat naturally within your body using the body's natural processes. I heard Dan talking about it a lot. I heard Chad talking about it a lot. And now I wanted to get invested in it, and I have, and I am satisfied with the results so far. 2.5 inches in one session. And they guarantee that you'll lose weight. Fat loss with no incisions, downtime, pain, or complications. They're running a $99 first-time special right now where they invite you to come out and try it. So give them a call today and schedule an appointment today. Heck, I might see you tomorrow. I'll be there tomorrow morning. 615-236-9960. That's 615-236-9960, or visit them at contoursllc.com. Now, holidays are coming up. And if you need something that is going to jumpstart your progress when it comes to weight loss or fitting into that outfit that you love so much that you can't quite fit into anymore, family outings, company parties, all of those things mean that you want to feel better and look more comfortable in that suit or that dress, they do it at Contours LLC. It's contoursllc.com or call 615-236-9960. You know, for many of you, it's happening. Hair thinning, crown disappearing, hair loss has you feeling like you're losing your identity altogether. You know, I was so concerned with hair loss, I went in and I took advantage of a treatment from Advanced FUE and Advanced Hair. And friends, I would encourage you to do the same thing. If you're worried about hair loss, if you want to get in front of it, now look, obviously we've all seen the pills and the lotions that come with monthly subscriptions, which might help you retain what you have, but it never fully regrows the hair that you've lost. And if you've already lost hair and you're concerned about it, I've got good news. An incredible, simple, one-day treatment that starts growing your own natural hair the very next day, and it's guaranteed for life. From Advanced Hair's state-of-the-art facility to their world-class doctors, it's not maybe, it's not cross your fingers and hope. It is guaranteed that your new hair will grow. You decide how much, how thick, and where. It's why Advanced Hair has changed tens of thousands of lives, and I recommend them to anyone that is experiencing hair loss. For your free consultation, $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. Call 629-348-HAIR, 629-348-HAIR, or go online at advancedhair.com. That's advancedhair.com.
O'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Hey, you've got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. And right now in Tennessee, accused quadruple murderer Austin Drummond is going to be moved from the Obion County Jail to a state prison ahead of his trial due to repeated disruptions. Jail officials testified today that Drummond's behavior, including drug possession, violent outbursts, estranged staff, and jeopardized safety there in Obion County. A judge approved the transfer, though the location of the prison has not been disclosed. And as the government shutdown drags into its 27th day, the largest union of federal workers says it's time to get agencies reopened. The union's call being seen as a signal to Democrats that the shutdown's gone on long enough, and House Speaker Mike Johnson agrees.
They're doing it to appease their far-left Marxist base. That's the headline. That's why. That's why we're all in this mess. That's why the American people are suffering pain.
Union says the larger debate should continue after the government reopens, something that Republican leaders have been arguing for weeks. Here in Tennessee, food banks and nonprofits are bracing for increased demand with the federal government shutdown ongoing. This might help the Nashville Farmers Market SNAP program continuing operations for now, but it is facing uncertainty. SNAP benefits statewide are set to end starting on Saturday, but the Nashville Farmers Market says any unused benefits from October remain valid and can be used in November. President Trump is in Asia this week. Today he's in Japan meeting with the emperor and prime minister. Later this week, he's slated to talk to China's president about trade. We get more from ABC's Karen Travers on recent comments the White House said about a framework deal.
The president said he thinks they're going to walk away with the deal. But of course, they're not showing their cards as to what exactly has led to the Treasury Secretary to say there's a framework agreement. They're letting these talks play out, and that meeting will take place in South Korea on Thursday.
The U.S. and China have been mired in a trade war for months, and the president's threatened that a 100% tariff would get slapped on Chinese imports starting Saturday. Mediterranean mystery cruise crew member vanishes overboard. The search is intensifying for that crew member, having gone overboard from the Viking Star cruise ship in the Mediterranean. It's prompted an urgent search by the Italian Coast Guard. It happened this morning as the ship sailed from Crete to Sicily. And early snow hit Mount Washington, New Hampshire, just as 24 hikers scaled the summit 6,300 feet up. Here's Wayne Cabot.
Some were underdressed, wearing only sneakers, as it snowed sideways in a howling wind. Arriving at the summit, they realized the road down was closed. No bus was available for them as planned, so workers at the Cog Railway on the mountain packed them in the cars and brought them down to safety. Andy Villain of the Mount Washington Cog Railway.
A good quarter of those may not have made it down. Some of the more serious cases that were already soaked through and beginning those early signs of hypothermia would have had trouble making their way back down.
Wayne Cabot, ABC News.
That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right, looking over here at Creve Hall, on-ramp partially blocked, 65 northbound from Harding Place. It looks like a dump truck has lost part of its load there. In Brentwood, we've got a crash partially blocking the on-ramp. It is from Old Hickory Boulevard to 65 southbound. I'm Ken Weaver.
Over the weekend, I collected East Wing memories from our liberal friends, and we will share some of our favorite East Wing memories from our liberal friends coming up this hour of the radio show on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. It's 7 minutes after 4 o'clock. We'll also take your telephone calls, 615-737-9986, 615-737-9986. Jackson Williams is gesticulating across the glass. Are you gesticulating for a particular reason, Jackson?
Join the meeting.
Oh, my apologies. I've yet to join my meeting. Yes, I do need to do that, especially considering I've got a couple of pieces of audio that I would like to share with you. And in order to do that in a video format, because many of you watch on the television side of things, and we do video and audio, on TV now, which is nice. I enjoy it. You can look at me in my Farmer John outfit. I look like Farmer John, don't I? And this is what Farmer John would look like. I wore this waffly type of shirt in honor of my grandpa, based on the grandpa story that I told last Friday. Y'all remember that story?
Yes, sir.
Long John story?
Yep.
Yeah. It was very similar to this. It was not it didn't have buttons on top, but it was very similar to this. The Long John top that he had on when he walked out of the woods, otherwise buck naked. No camouflage anymore. If you know, you know, and if you don't, I don't want to tell you.
There you go, brother.
In the meantime, Ken, we've separated Ken and Jackson for the time being. We will continue this delicate balance that we're walking. It's a balance of show. It's a balance of friendship. But it is also, everything is pointing towards Saturday with Ken and Jackson's relationship.
There's going to be a street fight.
That's what I hear.
It's going to be bare-knuckled, boy.
I love it. I love everything about it.
Ken, what parking lot are you parking in?
I can't remember.
That's a good answer, Ken.
My wife has all
That's
that
a good. That's a good. No, that's a good answer. No, I would keep that answer. You don't need Jackson seems the type that he would do something to your car. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like let the air out of my tires
or
something
TP
like
it.
that.
Or,
No, I just put a big T sticker on the back of it with the final score embroidered.
Yeah, put that shaving cream on it, Yeah, just you don't need all that.
No, what you do is you smash a honey bun on the back windshield.
Do you?
Impossible to get off.
Really?
Not that I've ever done that.
How come you can't get the honey
Jackson,
bun?
Because it's got all that, like the sugar and the honey of the honey bun. Oh, it's impossible.
Jackson, I feel it difficult. You and I know each other, right? We like each other.
Yeah.
We're good friends. I feel like we're friends. Maybe not good friends, but we're friends.
Acquaintances.
I don't feel like you would waste that honey bun in that fashion. I know I would not.
Depends on how many honey buns you have.
Yeah,
Well-
if you buy a whole box, you use 3.
Okay. Well, I mean,
Then you got a snack
sure.
on the way home.
Yeah, sure. I mean, if you've got a gross of honey buns, then perhaps you would use one honey bun to smear it all over Ken Weaver's car so that he can't see behind him as he's trying to get out of Knoxville as fast as humanly possible after the Oklahoma Sooners hand you a loss.
The Bulls their second loss of the season.
It would be our 3rd.
Oh, well, that's even better.
Oh, y'all already have 2 losses?
Georgia and Alabama.
Oh, that's right.
We should be.
You've lost to the elites in the SEC.
I know, and now we got to play the lowly Sooners.
All right. So back to issues of more importance to the general public.
What
and
is
the general
more
audience.
important?
Well, I mean, I do have to talk about government shutdown. So there are several of you, and these are good questions. These are not unimportant questions. These are not unserious-minded people who are asking these questions on the super text line. We've talked about them in the past. 5263, for example, writes in and says, you're wrong because the R's could end the filibuster with a cloture tonight. And the R's have yet to return us to regular order, and they've had years to do so. I'm going to talk about the filibuster in just a moment. And obviously, yes, I would agree with you that the GOP needs to do more in regard to more in regard to getting us back to regular order. But here's the deal. For those saying that we should change the rules of the Senate after 250 plus years of American history because the Democrats are acting like children. Why? If you decide to change the rules of the United States Senate and create a dynamic by which the filibuster does not matter with regard to reopening the government, then the Democrats will take advantage of that, and they will ultimately change the rules when they're in charge, and the filibuster will no longer exist. The minority matters in the United States Senate as the cooling body of the legislative branch of government. Number one, why should you give that victory to the Democrats? It's part of what they want. They like the idea of mob rule as opposed to the rule of law. And the filibuster is a check against mob rule or the will of the mob. Number two, the filibuster is important regardless of whether or not you're in the majority in the Senate. Number 3, it is incumbent upon the minority to come to the table of negotiation with regard to what's going on right now. And it is not for the majority to acquiesce and to bend the knee and to change the rules. The filibuster is an important function. Now, what I would suggest we change is how we apply the filibuster. What happened in 1975 needs to be reversed. The filibuster required a 2/3 majority of voting members up until 1975. And that was changed to 3/5 voting members, moving the number needed from 67 to 60. But it changed from members present to members voting or members sworn. Why does that matter? I hope I can make sense of this for you. Up until 1975, you needed 67 members of the United States Senate present and accounted for at any point that wanted to break a filibuster to break that filibuster. But the filibuster had to be based on an actual filibuster. It could not be a threat only. You actually had to filibuster and hold the floor if you were in the minority, and it took a 2/3 majority to break that, or it took the individual holding the floor to give up the floor. And oftentimes this would be giving up the floor to the majority party, at which time they would move forward with a vote on the matter. In 1975, the rules were changed. And it was designed to make it easier to break a filibuster by moving the number from 67 to 60. But what it in effect did was make it much easier to filibuster. Easier to break, maybe. Easier to filibuster, definitely, because you didn't have to hold the floor. All you had to do was threaten a filibuster because they negotiated a change in the rules by which you could continue debate on other matters. You could continue activity in the Senate while the hold on a piece of legislation regarding the threat of a filibuster was in place. Does that make sense to everyone? So if I chose to filibuster any piece of legislation in the minority, if the minority party chose to do that, prior to 1975, we would work on that matter, period, end of the discussion. We wouldn't talk or take up anything else other than that matter until that matter was resolved and settled in the body of the Senate. Now, the Senate has the ability to take up any piece of legislation above and beyond and around the issue of the filibuster in question while the filibuster is ongoing. You don't have to hold the floor anymore. You need to change the rule back to 3/5 of voting members and force an actual filibuster on the floor. This would stop all of this nonsense like this. Number one, number 2, and number 3, and number 4, they're all that you would make them work. The Senate, Republicans and Democrats alike, are lazy. They are old and they are lazy, for the most part. Old and lazy. And if you forced them to actually stay in Washington, D.C., if you forced them to actually stay near where they would need to cast a vote to bust up a filibuster, if you forced them to actually hold the floor in question as the minority party during debate, this would stop. You don't need to lose the filibuster to do that. You need to change the 1975 rule, move it from 3/5 of members sworn in to 3/5 of members present, and actually require them to hold the floor and not allow moving on to other matters while the debate's going on. That is your solution. 615-737-9986. 0544 Jackson is accusing you of being a daddy's money boy.
Why?
I think this is in relation to your seats at the upcoming game against the Oklahoma Sooners.
Nothing to do with my family.
But the 04 or 0544 is suggesting that you are a trust fund titty baby.
The only thing my parents are in this situation is jealous.
There you go, 0544. Accused and answered. Asked and answered. There you have it. These are his
Should
words,
I just
not
explain
mine.
it?
You just explained it, that this is your friend that is parlaying an acquaintance or a relationship with the Peyton Manning organization that has led you to be in these. Look, I don't begrudge you. I'm not a hater. This guy's a hater.
I'd like to come up there and sit with you, Brother Jackson.
Well, Ken, security won't allow that.
Well, that stinks.
What if he wore an orange shirt? Jackson?
I can't do that.
Yeah, if you were orange, Ken, I'll let you in. I'll sneak you in. We can't have any of that Sooner red down there.
Little moral dilemma there, Ken. I got told one time I got invited to Bryant Denny.
Yeah.
They had this brand new, they called it The Zone, which was a brand new, like, upper tiered, fancy, they had lockers where.
VIP.
Yeah, VIPs, and these Richie Richardsons would bring in their liquor. This is before they allowed alcohol in the stadium. And I was told that I had to wear a shirt with a Alabama A on it, though.
I take it you did not make it to that part of the stadium.
I did not make it with that shirt on. I wore a gray. I just wore a plain gray golf shirt.
Yeah,
and I didn't think they were going to let me in.
And they did.
They did. They eventually did, but they were not very happy with it. That I did not. I said I could not find a shirt. Apparently,
all of Alabama.
Y'all bought them all out. That's what I told them. I said I couldn't find a shirt with one of those script A's on it. I remember because I looked online and I tried to find. You
should have wore a Brave shirt.
That's what I tried to find. I tried to find an Atlanta Braves shirt with a slightly different script A, but that didn't work either.
It would have been blue.
John is in Lebanon with a thought on the East Room. Hey, John, how are you?
Hey, Matt. I'm actually from Lebanon, but I live in Washington, D.C. now.
Oh, I'm glad to hear it, John.
Yeah. Hey, I saw your Twitter post this weekend taunting the liberals about their faux outrage about the proposed destruction of the East Wing. And I worked directly for two presidents over a 5-year period and just wanted to clear up any misconceptions that your liberal friends might have regarding what's happening.
All right. What is I don't feel like it's really, I mean, I guess it's big news in the sense that there's been talk about a ballroom for a long time in Washington, D.C. But what's your perception on the news, John?
Well, my perception is this. Prior to President Trump undertaking this construction project, which he's a builder, we all know that, during my 5 years in the White House, I worked numerous state dinners, Medal of Freedom ceremonies, Medal of Honor ceremonies, and any time there were more than 150 participants, they had to rent a large tent that they would erect on the south lawn, and this tent would house anywhere from 250 to 500 people. And it was one of those extravagant tents where they could close it off and have air conditioning. So President Trump is solving a decades-old issue and topic by having this ballroom built. And I'd also like to add, for those that are, so pissed off at anything Trump does, which I'm convinced he could cure cancer tomorrow and the liberals would be a pro-cancer platform. Teddy Roosevelt built the West Wing. President Taft made the executive Oval Office. FDR added the entire East Wing and included an indoor pool. President Truman lived in the Blair House for the better part of his second term because the floor of the White House had rotted. President Nixon added a bowling alley. President Obama spent $350 million in renovations in 2010, and your daily morning news shows did puff pieces around it. So this is another glaring example, and I live this daily in Washington, D.C. This is a glaring example that anything Trump does, says, whatsoever, the liberals are against it. And you probably saw Eric Swalwell, who never saw a Chinese.
Oh no, we're talking about Swalwell here in just a moment. His commentary over the weekend is, I mean, it is over the top. It's almost like a parody.
Well, he is a parody. He's a cartoon character in Washington, D.C. So, and then the last part of this is the East Wing is predominantly a ceremonial park extension of the White House. It's not even part of the main mansion. You have to go through a walkway if you've never been to the White House. You enter the East Wing, and then you have to go through a hallway before you even enter the executive mansion.
Well, and for the most part, for those who don't know, the East Wing, if you've ever been on a tour of the White House, you probably entered through the East Wing, because that's
Correct.
where the public enters. They enter into the East Wing area. They don't go into the offices necessarily, but they go down the corridor. I think there's a huge bust of Lincoln's head at the end of that corridor. At least there used to be. There are photos along that corridor. I think that's where the Donald. I think for a while he had the presidential portraits up, or maybe that's on the other side. But and then you had the visitor center vestibule or little common area, and then you entered the actual residence of the White House, and you went on the quote unquote official tour. This is where President Trump has made a point to, when tours come in, he'll come from behind the curtain and surprise them right as they enter the residence area of the White House, right on the lower level. Before they go up and tour some of the more famous rooms. But you're right on target, John. And the point of my trolling ex post was, I would suggest that the vast majority of liberals couldn't tell you one single function of the East Wing before this happened.
Correct.
Because the East Wing
100%.
Because the East Wing doesn't really have a lot of function to it. And that's the whole point. And thank you, John. I got to run. Thank you for the call. Call us back, please. Love hearing from you in Washington, D.C. Thank you for the call. The East Wing did not have a lot of official function to it. It was office space. It was like the office of calligraphy. It was the office of the vice president. Not even the vice. It was the office of the first lady, which is fine. I mean, obviously, the first lady needs offices or whatever, and assistants or whatever, but she can find them other places. And it was a movie theater, another office space. So tell me the historical nature, this huge historical preservation dust-up that needs to occur as a result of the raising of the East Wing. I mean, it's all foolish. It's nonsense. Donald Trump needs to come out in favor of oxygen so liberals will start putting bags over their heads. It's 25 after the hour on Super Talk. Hey, friends, it's Matt Murphy for the Wellness Institute of Nashville. Let's talk about pain, right? So Dr. Mitchell, Dr. Ashley understand that if you're in pain, not a lot else matters, especially if it's debilitating back pain. For most of you that have had back pain for a number of years, maybe you've resigned yourself to this is just how it's going to be, and I'm going to need to pop pills, or I'm going to need to deal with blockers, pain blockers, and consider surgery. Let's not think about these things. Let's get with the program at the Wellness Institute of Nashville and see how they can help eliminate that pain out of your life in a natural way. And it is possible with their spinal decompression technology. They want to introduce all of this to you through the Big Daddy Trump special. That is a $12 special. Donald Trump has not given up on the American people, and we're not giving up on eliminating pain out of your life in a natural fashion. So for $12, it's a comprehensive examination, x-rays if needed, a well-explained diagnosis, and your first treatment right there at the Wellness Institute of Nashville. 615-246-5009. That's 615-246-5009, or go to painisbad.com. Painisbad.com for the Wellness Institute of Nashville. You know, throughout the course of the year, Shane Ring and Cover Nash, they try to impress upon you that you don't have to wait. Sadly, a lot of people feel like you have to wait to make changes in your insurance coverage plan. And if you're dissatisfied with your plan, you have to wait until a particular time of year to make any of those changes. Well, Shane Ring knows that's not true, and he tries to help express that. I try to help express that in talking about Shane and Cover Nash and the wonderful work that he does as a personal health care concierge throughout the course of the year. Well, now's the time of year that you would normally make those changes, right? So why in the world are you not calling Shane Ring and Cover Nash if you're not? Call Shane. Allow him to examine your situation. He has 75 separate plans and programs and insurance companies at his disposal. Health insurance is his forte. He understands how to talk with you, to understand your needs. That's first and foremost, understanding exactly what you are in need of when it comes to health insurance, and then finding a plan that gives you the maximum amount of coverage at the least cost to you. Isn't that what it's all about with health insurance? That's what it's all about for Shane Ring. He is your personal healthcare concierge right here in Middle Tennessee. You can see him in Brentwood. You can call him on the phone, or you can go online at covernash.com. That's covernash.com, 615-465-0023. 465-0023 or online at covernash.com.
.4:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. And right now in Tennessee, about 175 miles southeast of Nashville in Bradley County, police investigating a double homicide happened at Barcoo Plastics in Cleveland. Officers responded to reports of gunfire this morning and found 2 employees dead at the scene. Reports say the authorities there have a suspect surrounded at a home in Bradley County. The sheriff's SWAT team is assisting. And as the government shutdown drags into its 27th day, the largest union of federal workers in this country says it's time to get agencies reopened, seen as a signal to Democrats that the shutdown has gone on long enough.
With notices reflecting expiring Obamacare tax credits now going out, Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer says Americans on the exchange plans will sit at their kitchen tables with sticker shock.
And say, how the heck can we pay these bills?
House Speaker Mike Johnson says the health care cost issue is too complicated to be addressed quickly. He insists negotiations can proceed if Senate Democrats vote to fund the government.
But we can't do it while they're shutting the government down to appease the Marxists. That's it.
Stephen Portnoy, ABC News, Washington.
Department of Homeland Security says it has arrested a British journalist and political commentator for being a threat to national security. But his supporters argue the Trump administration is just stifling free speech. Here's ABC's Alex Stone in California.
On Sunday, British journalist and political commentator Sami Hamdi was detained at San Francisco International Airport. He had been speaking in Sacramento and was heading to another event in Florida. The Department of Homeland Security says he had his visa revoked because Hamdi poses a threat to national security. Rashad Nourzeh is executive director of the Council on American Islamic Relations in Sacramento.
He has been publicly speaking about the genocide in Gaza.
In response, DHS says those who support terrorism will not be allowed to work or visit the U.S. Alex Stone, ABC News.
That's the latest news, traffic, and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Whites Creek, police reporting a crash 24 westbound past Old Hickory Boulevard North, and then in Hermitage got a crash. The on-ramp is partially blocked from Old Hickory Boulevard to eastbound I-40. I'm Ken Weaver.
all of the cool, all of the rain means one thing when it comes to your home. All the bugs are trying to get in. Now, I know you don't want to think about it this way, but it is true that the bugs that have enjoyed the summertime out of doors are now trying to come indoors. They want to get to you. They want to get to your food. They want to get to the warmth that you provide in the walls of your home for the wintertime. And they're going to do this if you let them. But do not let them. Go to U.S. Pest, online at uspest.com, or call J.K. and Erica Brister, or one of the fine folks who answer the phone at U.S. Pest will be able to assist you with a free inspection today. They'll get to your home, they'll figure it out, and they'll find out what's going on, and they will tell you the real scoop. Now, if you have a pest control company that you don't prefer, if they've just not done the job, they get it, they understand that, but U.S. Pest, they are tip-top in the industry all throughout the state of Tennessee. Their purpose is to eliminate pests in your home, preventing insect and rodent-borne diseases and the creepy factor that come along with knowing that there are bugs inside of your house. Full-service pest control, termite protection, and crawl-space service available for you at a 100% money-back guarantee always at U.S. Pest. Two things. U.S. Pest, they love the United States of America, and they hate bugs. USPest.com or call 590-1260. 590-1260. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I've made a tactical host error during the break.
What else is new?
That's fair. That's fair. You're sassy this week, and I'm going to forgive it.
And it's to both you and Ken this time.
I don't feel like Ken, he was this sassy during Tennessee-Georgia week.
I don't think he was.
I don't think he was either. I think he's full of pee and vinegar because he's confident.
Not full of pee.
No, you just took care of that. Which is what I should have been doing. Instead, I tried to get some nutrition, some protein in me. And I had a handful of nuts. Not a good idea while you're hosting a talk show, especially when you do not have a beverage.
You need me to go get you one?
No, Ken, I'm good. I'll suffer through. I deserve it, Ken. I deserve it.
This is the price he pays for Georgia to get all those calls.
Man, we're going to beat hell out of the Gators this week.
Oh, congrats.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Would you like a cookie?
No, I'm worried because they got this new coach thing going on and yada, yada, yada. Well, we shouldn't talk about football right now.
No, football.
I'm supposed to be better about that. We're not a football show. 615-737-9986. We are a government shutdown show. We are this storm in Jamaica, by the way. My goodness gracious.
Yeah, it's something, man.
I started looking this thing up this weekend, and it looks pretty darn bad. And I was told, I think that there are people that are stuck on the island that are tourists, if I'm not mistaken.
That would
scare hell out of me.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, can you imagine, Ken? You're on vacay with the wife. We're going to take a dream trip to Jamaica. We've always wanted to go.
Jamaica, man.
To Jamaica, man. To one of those all-inclusives, right?
Yes. Yes.
And for some reason, you didn't take things seriously. You didn't look at the weather. You didn't bother with it. And you're one of the guys that didn't schedule to get off that island in advance of this storm coming. And now here it is.
You're stuck.
And you're depending on the kindness of strangers now. Man, that's dangerous. Category 5 hurricane. And did I hear you in the newscast, Ken, say that this is possibly going to be the largest storm ever recorded to hit Jamaica?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
It's on track to be the, quote, worst storm to ever hit Jamaica.
Al Gore would tell you, friends, it's a Category 28 storm. It's going to hit us, and it's all because of global warming. That's by Al Gore. It's pretty bad. So, yeah, watching that storm, and we will talk about SNAP benefits coming up in just a moment. Right now, Wayne wants to talk about the government shutdown, and I'm all here for it. Hey, Wayne, how are you?
I'm great, Matt. How you doing today?
Fabulous. Thank you for calling.
Yes, absolutely. I wanted to say first, I do agree with you on the filibuster. We've got to keep the filibuster, and I believe your solution there to bring it back to old school rules would work very much more. But I also feel like, number one, we have given these people way too much power, and we need to change up some other things that would most likely take a grassroots movement to do so. For instance, they are paid by the federal government. Why are these people paid by the federal government?
They
are not federal employees.
Who are these people?
I'm talking about our representatives and our senators, the people that have shut down the government right now.
Right.
They are not federal employees. They are not hired by the federal government. They are hired by the voter and fired by the voter. So why aren't both the representatives and the senators paid by their respective states?
Well, I've never. Okay, go ahead. No, I haven't.
Okay. Well, they are also set their own pay package. Try working at Walmart and doing that, or heck, even try working at WTN and doing that.
Well, they technically. I don't want to. I'm trying to argue with you, but.
No, I understand.
Technically, they don't set their own pay package in as much as any pay increase that goes into effect will not go into effect until the next congressional cycle. So we, the people, would have an opportunity prior to those pay increases happening to respond by voting them out of office.
Very true, very true. But I suggest we put it back to the respective states. For instance,
I don't think it's ever been. My gut tells me, and I don't know if this is true or not, Wayne, but I don't think that even when the senators, even before direct election of senators in the 17th Amendment, I don't believe that the states have ever been responsible for paying representatives or senators in Washington, D.C. I don't believe that's the case.
Well, I would have to agree with you there, but if you think about it, why not? They represent us. If you go out representing WTN, don't they pay you?
Yes, WTN would pay me.
Right, exactly. And so that's the way it is in most every situation. So why not do that? And what
well, all of the money. State, I mean, all of the money collected comes from we the people. So
right, exactly.
I don't really. I mean, I'm not. Once again, I'm not trying to pick nits, but I think it's a distinction without a difference.
Well, while I understand that, if your state House and Senate set their pay package and their entire pay package, you're not going to have these guys going in there and serving 1 or 2 terms and then they get paid with retirement, because that's one of the things a lot of people don't really understand. They get their full pay retirement for the rest of their life. I mean, it's ridiculous if you think about how much we're doing, and it gives us more power over the people that are representing us, instead of giving them all the power to set the whole thing.
The retirement benefit package, it's possible for members to receive full retirement benefits, but the amount is based on years of service.
Okay.
So they can't serve 2 years and get a full retirement package.
Okay. I had been told that, but I stepped back on that one. I had been told that, but anyway.
No, I mean, I've heard for years that if you serve 1 term, you get a full salary with benefits, and it's not correct. The benefits, it goes by the federal employees retirement system. It's the same for all federal employees. So it's all about, it covers all federal employees. I'm just reading from it here. Benefits are, for representatives in Congress are the same as any federal employee retirement system employee, which covers all United States employees. Most representatives are enrolled. It's called FERS program. It's a 3-part retirement plan that includes Social Security, annuity, and a savings plan. So I'm not here to defend them.
Right.
What do you think? But it does bring up an interesting question, Wayne. You seem to have thought about this for a while. What do you think is an adequate salary for someone in the House of Representatives or in the United States Senate?
Well, I don't feel like the salaries are that far off. However, if each respective state was paying their own representatives and senators, it would probably vary, I imagine, because, for instance, your people from California and New York would probably be getting paid more according to their economy, and Tennessee people would be getting paid more according to their economy. So, $150,000, $175,000, I don't feel like is ridiculous. One of the things that does kind of get my goat is they put that Obamacare on us, but they don't live by the same thing themselves. They've got a lot better health care package than any of the general public, or than what we had to put up with that the insurance companies bestowed upon us as a result of the Obamacare situation. I felt like it just killed the medical insurance.
I'm hyper interested in this concept of yours, and I've never really thought about it. What benefit do you think there would be in pay emanating from the individual states as opposed to being paid out through the federal treasury? I can't think of any. Well, I mean, maybe more states' rights.
Yeah, more states' rights. Also, you have, of course, what communication has done the last 20 years. It's went nuts compared to what it used to be. And you could even have things like hotlines where the people are, for instance, okay, I belong to the National Right to Congressman. And I sent out some letters this morning, some things that they're trying to do, bills trying to be created in the Senate right now. Well, I agree with you. The bills don't need to be created in the Senate right now or brought to the floor until they settle this matter and take care of a very important matter that's got the government shut down. But in those kind of situations, people could get online, they could vote, and if your representative, your representative is not representing the majority of his district, his congressional district, okay, wait a minute, we can do something here. We can, number one, let everybody know it. Number two, we can even call his hand to it and maybe even go as far, of course, if you heard that he's doing something illegal or whatever, remove him from office or whatever the situation might be.
Well, don't we have an opportunity to remove them for office every 2 years for representatives, every 6 years for senators anyway? I mean, that's what elections are for.
True, especially with representatives. Your senators a little bit, I mean, they're in there for 6. Good gracious alive. And, get me started on term limits, and that's something else I think needs to be done too. But, of course, I know they're never going to vote that in.
This is going to be Wayne, you're about to get me in trouble. Okay? You're about to give me – I'm just going to tell you, you have inspired me to say something that I think is going to be just disliked by 95% of the listening audience. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I don't think we pay members of Congress enough.
Okay.
Currently, members of Congress earn $174,000 per year.
Correct.
And per the 27th Amendment of the Constitution of the United States, any congressional pay increase does not impact the session of Congress that passes the pay increase. You have to have another cycle of Congress before any of those pay increases go into effect. And I like that, and I appreciate that. That gives the people the right to respond if they decide to raise their own pay. But right now, the base salary for members of Congress is $174,000 a year. Congressional leaders can earn more. They earn, in excess of $200,000 a year. But I believe that if we expect good leadership to go up there and offer their time and their service, it should not necessarily be at the sacrifice of their savings. And when you expect travel to come out of that expense, and once again, I understand this is an incredibly unpopular position. But when you expect salary to come out, your salary, their flights don't get paid for, right? They don't get to expense all of that stuff. They have to, if they want to have a small apartment up in Washington, D.C. for them to stay in during the week and they don't want to stay in their offices, they have to pay for that, right?
Correct.
And they have to manage a home and they have to do all of these things. I would be in favor of upping their pay to whatever amount, we come to that seems reasonable, and eliminating their ability to have any other business transactions whatsoever, to include stock transactions during their time in office. And I would add that if you don't work, you don't get paid. So anytime a government shutdown happens, there's not automatic payments going to Congress. Correct. Now, whether or not that needs to filter through the states, it's something I haven't thought about, but it's an interesting concept, Wayne, and I appreciate the telephone call. I know it's not a popular viewpoint because Congress is not a very popular place. But $174,000, the best and the brightest can go out and make more money than that. The best and the brightest, especially those in the business world. I'm not talking about lawyers. I'm talking about, the lawyers, they naturally gravitate to politics. But the best and the brightest in the business community, the best and the brightest in Nashville, Tennessee, and throughout the state of Tennessee, they can generate more income than that. And so if you're asking them, I understand that it is a public service and there should be some level of sacrifice, but at some point that sacrifice is going to be too much and you're not getting the best and the brightest. You're getting those people that want to, quote unquote, earn a living, which is ergo why you get career politicians. 51 after the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hello, friends. It's Matt Murphy, and I want to talk to you for a moment about the Glock store. It is holiday season. Holidays are upon us, right? And if you're thinking about having a nice party for your office, a nice party for friends or family, what about partying at the Glock store? It's an idea, right? Because it's a different kind of party at the Glock store. When you schedule a party, you get one of their big party rooms. And they can adjust it from 10 to 110, right? And you'll get a shooting room in addition to that party room. You'll get a trained instructor in addition to that. You can go full auto if you want. That's what it's all about, friends. And it's time to get that party scheduled with the Glock store. Schedule your party today by going to Glockstore.com. That's Glockstore.com or Shoot270.com and find out more about this party atmosphere that happens at the Glock store. I'm telling you, folks, it's something different, right? You can have shooting competitions. You can do anything you imagine. from a Glock store perspective, they are here and they're ready for you, and they want you to enjoy your holiday season with family and friends or coworkers, and they want to fill their rooms and fill their dates this holiday season. So go to Glockstore.com to find out if your date's still available. Go ahead and schedule that date because they're going quick. Glockstore.com or shoot270.com.
Had a deadly workplace shooting in Tennessee today. We'll give you the details coming up at 5 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I need to correct myself. I incorrectly noted that I included travel expenses and lodging expenses, and I apologize for that. There is an MRA, which is a reimbursement that members of Congress do receive for travel, and I apologize for the error. The MRA is allocated based on distance from Washington, D.C. I am told by people that I trust and respect in Washington, D.C., that it is below oftentimes what the overall cost is, but, that's a price of doing business. Once again, they understand what they're getting into. They understand what the salary is. I don't have any compassion necessarily for sitting members of Congress. I'm just pointing out that at some point, if the salaries do not go up consistent with expectations of high achievers, then you will not receive high achievers necessarily running for public office for fear that it's going to cost them decent amounts of money to do so. Now, if there was one suggestion that we should pay our congressional representation the average salary of the individual states in which they serve. Well, if you do that, aren't you going to get average or below average people? Let me put it to you this way. Do you want poor people representing you? Would you want a poor congressman? Or a poor senator? Would you want someone that's 40 years old and they've not amassed a certain level of material security? Not wealth. I'm not asking for wealth. I would suggest to you that I would not vote for a poor person for Congress. I wouldn't. Would you? Would you? Oh, that's mean, Matt. What you just said was mean. Well, I mean, if you don't have your own finances figured out by the time you're 30 or 35 or 40 years old, how would I expect that you would go to Washington, D.C. and manage properly the finances of the entire country, especially in the halls of the House of Representatives? But, yes, I stand corrected on MRAs. I apologize for misguiding you on that. I was thinking about lodging expenses and other expenses which are not covered. My bad. It's 5 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Coming right back.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes, and Hurricane Melissa churning in the Caribbean. And forecasters say it's on track to be the worst storm to ever hit Jamaica. ABC News meteorologist Melissa Griffin also says Melissa, currently a Cat 5, with maximum sustained winds of 175 miles per hour.
The intensity could fluctuate a bit just before landfall, but still a major catastrophic hurricane as it makes landfall on Jamaica by tomorrow morning. And then it will weaken a bit, but then it makes another landfall in parts of Cuba, still as potentially a major hurricane. This is by Wednesday, Tuesday night into Wednesday.
A judge ruling that the man accused of killing Charlie Kirk will be allowed to wear civilian clothes in court moving forward. ABC's Melissa Adon is following the case.
The judge granting Robinson the permission to wear civilian clothes to all upcoming pretrial hearings, as the judge says, is presumed innocent at this time. And because of that, he says that Robinson wearing jail clothing could make any defendant appear guilty.
Robinson will remain in shackles. And as the government shutdown drags into its 27th day, the largest union of federal workers says it's time to get agencies reopened, seen as a signal to Democrats that it's gone on long enough.
As the shutdown drags into its 5th week, more federal workers are heading for food banks, something the House Speaker calls shameful.
We're the greatest nation in the history history of the world. We've got to be able to operate.
Mike Johnson says the largest union of federal workers has it right in a new statement urging the passage of a stopgap funding bill.
They know that this whole thing by the Democrats, the entire shutdown, is a charade.
Senate Democrats have been holding out, citing the need to extend expiring health insurance subsidies. But the American Federation of Government Employees says both parties have made their point, and now it's time to end the shutdown. Stephen Portnoy, ABC News, Washington.
That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right, I'm seeing places around the loop downtown where you're coming to complete stops. That is eastbound South Loop to 65, northbound up to the northern split, then eastbound over to the downtown split. Crashes aren't helping. We've got one on the right shoulder. That's 65 northbound there at Vietnam Veterans Boulevard. And in Hermitage, got a crash, on-ramp partially blocked, 40 eastbound from Old Hickory Boulevard. And now in Hillwood, crash reported 40 eastbound at Charlotte Pike. I'm Ken Weaver.
Hello, friends. Welcome. One and all, we're halfway home, just past halftime of the Matt Murphy Radio Show this Monday, October 27th edition. It is Halloween week. We're all spooky in here. We're dressed for the occasion. Jackson wants us to dress up on Friday. We're taking votes on that. Exactly what we would dress as remains to be seen. I might dress as a nationally championship-winning college football program. I don't know yet. Or maybe an award-winning radio show. We'd have to find one of those to figure that out. It's episode 911 of our gatherings together, and I thank each and every one of you for making us a part of your afternoon. If you're just getting off work, we'll try to get you updated on what's going on. Traffic is a mess, as you might expect. Speaking of a mess, Jamaica is bracing for one of the worst hurricane events in its history. Jamaica basically closes down. The strongest storm of 2025 is descending upon that. We have had a relatively calm hurricane season. I don't remember the last time we've had a year where we were not at least threatened by a hurricane to hit American shores. I'm sure that it's not been that long ago that we've gone through a hurricane season because Simply put, 2005 happened, and Al Gore and the rest of the global warming alarmists tried to scare the hell out of us, suggesting that we were going to have these massive Category 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 storms every single year. We would have to rewrite the record books every single year. It simply did not happen. These are cyclical matters that, sometimes the season is worse than others, and we've had a relatively calm season throughout the course of the year, but it is far from over. I suppose we go into, mid-November for hurricane season, if my memory serves me correctly. In the meantime, many of you are very frustrated with me based on my position on congressional. But look, it's not a hill that I'm going to die on. It was just brought up by Wayne. Caller Wayne said that he thought the states should pay our House of Representatives in Washington, D.C., and our United States senators in Washington, D.C. My better solution to getting more state representation in D.C. would be to rescind the 17th Amendment of the Constitution of the United States, to repeal that, and to go back to the way that we selected senators to begin with. The concept of the Congress of the United States of America was designed around, as I understand it, two bodies, the House of Representatives and the Senate, the House being the people's body, the Senate being more a representation of the individual states, so as to bring state representation into Washington, D.C., to prevent the type of growth that we've seen since the 17th Amendment was passed. When the direct election of senators happened, then those senators became representatives of the federal government to the states, not representatives of the state government to the feds. Does that make sense to everyone? So now, try as they might to insist on small government, people like Marsha Blackburn and Bill Hagerty are incentivized to bring the largesse from the federal government back to the people of the state of Tennessee. That's how they feel, as if they get votes. Even conservative members of the United States Senate are representing the federal government to the states, not representing the state government to the feds. And that amendment has done more to grow the size of the federal government than anything else in American history, and I believe it should be repealed. I think that would take us a long way to getting back to states' rights and remembering the 10th Amendment is there for a reason than anything else. In the meantime, many of you are lashing back at the concept that I threw out to you regarding poor people and running for political office. Look, I'm not telling you that there should be a rule. I'm not telling you that there should be a law. I'm telling you my personal conviction on the matter. And 2565 in particular has taken exception with it. Said, how is your concept of never voting for a poor person any different from landowners ruling the nation? And I'm not suggesting that poor people should not be allowed to vote or run for political office. I'm suggesting that I wouldn't vote for them. And here's another one. You stated emphatically that you would not vote for a poor person. I don't see any difference between that and the feudal system. Well, I'm offering you my personal conviction on the matter. I'm not suggesting that we should prevent poor people from running or from voting, certainly. But I stand by what I said. If you can't manage a household budget by the time you're in your mid-30s, I don't believe you have the tools to manage a congressional district in the best interests of the people. That's it. That's it. I mean, you can suggest that I'm elitist all you want, but if you are a high achiever, you'll figure out. That is not to say that there aren't many high achievers that do not view the world in a materialistic fashion. I would like to believe that I do not view the world in a materialistic fashion. My goal is not to amass the maximum amount of wealth that I can possibly amass. But if you reach a certain age and you have not figured out how to live comfortably and at very least, I mean, I don't believe that this is an elitist take on who I want representing me. Besides, people who are less secure financially are more apt to seek that in Washington, D.C. And I think we need fewer and fewer of those people in Washington, D.C. Those that go to Washington, D.C. for a pay increase are some of the most corruptible. 12 minutes after the hour. In the meantime, SNAP benefits will end the stalemate, I predict. The expectation is that SNAP benefits will be on the chopping block come November 1st, and I believe that this potentially could end the stalemate in Washington, D.C. that has been created by the Democrats. In the meantime, Senator Marsha Blackburn is co-sponsoring a bill last week to ensure that the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, known as SNAP, formerly known as food stamps, receives full funding during the government shutdown. The Keep SNAP Funded Act would require the federal government to provide necessary funding to ensure SNAP benefits will be sent to people during the shutdown. Also, the bill would provide food stamp benefits to people who have missed them since the beginning of the shutdown. Oh, more freebies. That's nice. Blackburn said in a statement provided to the Tennessee Star, and I'm reading from an article in the Tennessee Star now, that, quote, roughly 1 in 10 Tennesseans receive SNAP benefits for food assistance. They shouldn't have to worry about where their next meal will come from because the Democrats are holding government funding hostage to appease their far-left base. Blackburn co-sponsoring this bill with Senators Josh Hawley, James Langford, Susan Collins, Bernie Moreno, Kevin Kramer, and Lisa Murkowski. Today is the 27th day of the government shutdown, now the second longest in American history. The shutdown, 8 days from tying the longest one ever, which occurred during Donald J. Trump's first term in office. SNAP benefits will remain in doubt after October 31st, Halloween. The U.S. Department of Agriculture says that on November 1st, food stamps will not be issued. Bottom line, they will run dry. If SNAP funding is not provided next month, it will affect 691,000 people in Tennessee, including approximately 268,000 children. Should we not take the opportunity to ask how we got to a place in the state of Tennessee where so many people are dependent upon the federal government to feed themselves and their children? Is that out of line? That sadly, when the government takes over organized assistance along these levels, when the government takes over entitlement assistance like this, that it often eliminates the natural way that our society would handle these situations, and it becomes government dependence. What I mean is, I believe the natural way that our societies, absent the freebies from the federal government that will simply pile on the burdensome debt that we've already grown to $38 trillion. Absent that, we would handle those in need differently. And I still think it would be handled. People would not starve in our society. We have church organizations. We have the MANA organizations. We have food banks that are privately funded, charitably funded. We have many great charities across this state, many great community organizations across this state, many church-based organizations across this state. Are the C's not the way that we should do this? Community, charity, church foundations, family, and extended family, as opposed to immediately jumping all of those things and going right to the federal government and demanding a handout. Sadly, oftentimes the two don't coexist. And when the federal government swoops in and takes over organized entitlements, those church-based organizations, those community-based organizations, those charity-based organizations suffer as a result, and oftentimes cease to exist in the communities that need them most and are replaced by government dependence. I believe it should be the other way around. Should there be a final safety net? I'm not against that, but it should be the final safety net, not the first safety net that people reach to. At the same time, I would say this. When SNAP benefits begin affecting those most likely to vote Democrat, and demographically, the poorer populations vote Democrat more regularly than they do Republican, I do believe that you will see a tide turn on this issue, and more people will demand that the Democrats reopen government. And trust me, they're the ones that closed it. And for those asking, 42 million Americans received SNAP benefits in the last year. That's way too many. That's way too many. And that's not Matt Murphy being cold-hearted. That's Matt Murphy I want to see an economic playing field that provides the opportunity where people do not need it. Sadly, there are far too many people that absorb it into their budgets on a weekly and monthly basis. And they come to expect it. And when $200 or $300 or $400 in SNAP benefits, when that becomes a part of your baseline, then I think sometimes we lose sight of the idea of overcoming the need for the entitlement and achieving independence absent any demand from the federal government or from the taxpaying citizen. I hope that makes sense. It's 18 after the hour, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hello, Mike.
How you doing, Matt?
I'm great, Mike. Thank you for asking.
Listen to you, and I always listen to you, and we fight every once in a while. And what I'm saying is, right now, we're in a critical situation. We've got elections coming up next year, midterms, right? So we have got now $38 trillion of national debt and $2 trillion of yearly debt. Now we have elections coming up, and you made a very, and I'm going to say this, and I hope you don't cut me off, a very stupid, ignorant statement that we need to pay congressmen and senators more money so that they might become more honest.
That's not what
do the right thing.
It's not what I said.
Oh, okay. So, but you want to pay them more.
That's not what I said. I said I don't think they're paid enough.
Well, that means you have to pay them more.
It's not up to me to pay them more. That's a distinction with a difference, Mike.
Okay,
but go ahead with your comment.
All right. So let's say that we pay them more to go up there to Washington and represent us across the country, and then do the right thing. Did you know that most congressmen, 98%, senators and congressmen are already millionaires or going to be millionaires?
Mm-hmm. Did you hear that? Did you conveniently miss the part where I said that they would no longer be able to engage in stock transactions during their time in service to this country?
Oh, I agree with that completely. Like Nancy Pelosi.
Then, Mike, where do they earn most of their wealth while in Washington D.C.?
It's called contacts. It's called
and how do they utilize those contacts to their financial benefit, Mike? Come on, you can do this.
Yep. Stop transactions.
There you go.
Buy stock and get into the Defense Department, which is billions of dollars. I agree with that 100%. So what I'm saying to you, Matt, is that don't say we need to increase their salaries to do the same dirty things, which you kind of did.
No, I didn't.
Well,
if they can't do the audience heard what they heard, and they can agree or disagree with me. But and you're welcome to listen to whatever portion of the show you want.
Well, I listen to you a lot.
Well, I'm glad you do.
And you do. You do a good thing for society. You do good things for Middle Tennessee and all that. And because I do disagree with you on a lot of things, but one thing I really, really disagree with you is we need to get rid of these damn politicians, and the only way is to vote them out.
Why? What do you think would happen if we paid them nothing?
You know what? Then we wouldn't have corrupt people running. And so what I'm saying is that if we was Abraham Lincoln rich or poor?
I assume he was, by today's standards, poor.
Poor.
Yeah.
Who did he become? One of the greatest presidents ever. So what we do is say, you know what? If you want to run for Congress or Senate, run on your own dime. We will give you a stipend, but that's it. And you're only going to serve one term, 2 years as Congress, 6 years as senator.
All right.
That's it.
Mike, if you need a hug, and I feel like you do, I got somebody for you because Jackson Williams is ready, willing, and able to give
Is
you.
he young? Is he young?
Oh yeah, he's
I don't like that question.
He's a youngster.
Well, that means he's looking forward to the United States of America being not only $40 trillion in debt by the end. Where does he think we're going to be in 2-3 years? $50 trillion in debt?
I don't know, Mike. I'm Mike. Thank you. I don't know where Mike was going with that, but I think it best just to leave it where it was. I asked Mike if he wanted a hug because Jackson was willing to hug him. And his first question was, what, Jackson?
Is he young?
I don't think that's I don't think that's good. I don't Is he?
I revoke the hug, by the way.
Young and fluffy, Mike. Young and fluffy.
Go to break.
23 after the hour. Hey, friends, Matt Murphy for Efficient Heating and Cooling. Jeff Eddy says if your heater's not ready, call good old Jeff Eddy and Efficient Heating and Cooling. I say that a lot, too. If you're trying to make the decision to replace or repair, I know it's a toughie because you want to get all the life you can out of your heating unit. Well, if you've gotten the maintenance done on the unit already, then Jeff Eddy's probably given you the lowdown on exactly where you are in terms of lifespan or life cycle. But if you've not done this, call Jeff Eddy and Efficient Heating and Cooling. Give yourself peace of mind. The way to head off costly repairs, the way to head off breakdowns during the cold winter months of the Tennessee season is to get your maintenance done. And even if you've already been running your heat, you need to go ahead and do this with Jeff Eddy and Efficient Heating and Cooling because they have the maintenance guarantee. What is that? If they come out to your house and maintenance your home, it'll never cost you over $125 for a maintenance visit, oftentimes much less than that. Friends, if they have to come back out to service your unit for any reason whatsoever, the service call is free during this heating season. That's what it's all about. Jeff Eddy and Efficient Heating and Cooling Plus. They're an elite pro partner with Rheem. When it comes time, it's time, and they can help you select the right one for you. EfficientHVAC.net or call 615-784-4424, 784-4424 for Efficient.
Got a ruling in the case of the man accused of murdering Charlie Kirk. We'll tell you about it at 5:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I have good news. A lot of people are offering to give Jackson a hug with no strings attached, and many, many others are offering Jackson a hug if they can slide into Neyland Stadium with him on Saturday afternoon to watch the Vols take on the Oklahoma Sooners and sit in Patty Pie seats. But I don't think that's going to happen, friends. I just don't believe that that's in the cards for you anytime soon. 615-737-9986. No one else asking your age, which is pretty good. Dwayne is next up. Hey, Dwayne, what's going on?
Hey, buddy. Man, you need to retract that statement quick.
Dwayne, I'm a meanie tail, aren't I?
Yeah, you're only talking. That's who you're talking to.
You talking about pork? You talking about
who the hell you think you're talking to? You're not talking to rich people out here.
Dwayne,
you're talking to poor people.
Oh, tell me the last poor person you voted for.
I ain't never voted for no poor person because I don't know what they are. But I'm telling you, we got this damn.
I'm not knocking it. Dwayne, I promise you. Dwayne, I promise you that I grew up poorer than most of you. Okay? I promise you that. So I'm not going to take lectures on what it means to be poor and what it means to grow up poor. I promise you.
I ain't lecturing you.
Well, sounds like it.
You the one said it, not me.
Well, tell me what poor person you'd vote for public office and why.
I vote for a whole lot of them around here in Lewis County.
Yeah, and you believe that they'd do better.
Right,
you believe they would do better representing you than they've done representing their own financial interest in their life.
You're damn right. I believe it would.
Okay. Well, good luck.
Okay.
I mean, it's not a knock on the listeners of this show. Dwayne, I promise you, I'm not knocking you. And Dwayne, you seem to take it personally what I said. And it's not a personal, I'm not casting aspersions, as I like to say, about your personal financial situation. I'm just telling you the truth about how I feel. I'm not telling you how to vote. I don't tell people how to vote. I don't endorse because I don't tell people how to vote. But good luck to you. Love you, buddy. I appreciate you listening to the show. But I promise you, I'm not about to be lectured about what it means to be poor, what it means to grow up poor, and what it means to find some level of financial security, because I've been there and I've done that. It's 30 after the hour on Super Talk.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. Hurricane Melissa churning in the Caribbean. Forecasters say it's on track to be the worst storm to ever hit Jamaica. ABC News meteorologist Melissa Griffin also says the wind and rain could cause widespread destruction in Jamaica.
Melissa, already a Category 5, but getting even stronger with the wind speed. Those maximum sustained winds now up to 175 miles per hour around the center of the eye wall. Quote from the National Hurricane Center: full structure failure possible within the eye wall as it makes landfall on southwestern Jamaica.
A judge ruling that the man accused of murdering Charlie Kirk will be allowed to wear civilian clothes in court moving forward, but denying another request, as we hear from ABC's Melissa Adine.
The judge denying Robinson and his team's wishes for him to appear without restraints. Now, Robinson will remain in shackles, but the judge noting that if they had seemed to restrict Robinson's ability to talk to his attorneys or write notes, that Robinson can request again to take off some shackles. Now, the judge making this decision for the safety of the courtroom.
That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right, Rivergate got a crash on the right shoulder, 65 northbound at Vietnam Veterans Boulevard. Then in Hillwood, a crash reported by police 40 eastbound at Charlotte Pike. If you are northbound 65, you are coming to a complete stop getting up there to the South Loop downtown. And I'm looking at very heavy stop-and-go traffic westbound 440 to get up to 40. I'm Ken Weaver.
Hello, friends. Matt Murphy for Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply. It is October, almost November, and the time has come for you to get that cool grass seed on your lawn to make sure that you're protecting said lawn for the fall and into the winter. Seed season is, in fact, here. And Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply is ready with all the seeds, fertilizers, pre-emergents, herbicides that you need to get your property ready for the winter and for next year. Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply is the go-to place for your lawn. It's simply the best. And if you want the best-looking lawn in the neighborhood, now's the time to start. Plus, I mean, there are all kind of things that you do to your lawn, with your landscaping in the fall. And if you need any advice on what to do and what not to do in terms of planning and whatnot, they're your go-to source. They're where the pros go. Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply. September, October, they're the best times, and even into November, the best time to sow cool season grasses like fescue and rye. They offer professional advice and know-how to help you with your lawn and your landscaping needs. 7 convenient locations. You've heard me throw them down: Nashville, Bellevue, Murfreesboro, Brentwood, Mower, Hendersonville, Mount Juliet, and Franklin. DickensSupply.com for any and all of these locations. That's DickensSupply.com. Online, tell them Matt Murphy sent you. All right, back to your calls coming up. Super Talk 99.7 WTN coming up first. However, we'll slip over to Nincompoops in the news. That's in moments. There is a Louvre heist update. Is it wrong that I'm kind of sad that, I mean, I should not be sad that a couple of people got caught, but I'm kind of sad that a couple of people got caught on the Louvre heist. I want to be a part of a heist. You ever want to be a part of a heist, Jackson? I mean, don't you feel like you'd be part of something special?
I mean, we could do it.
I mean, a heist indicates more coordination and more class than just a regular old robbery. I mean, anybody can rob a place. But if you engage in a heist, that means you got somebody back at home base. Like Ken Weaver's back on the computer at home base. He's coordinating the heist. And Jackson, you're in charge of doing some aspect of the heist. And I'm over here doing some other aspect. We got teams of people engaged in the heist.
I want to drive.
You want to be the driver?
Yeah.
You're the driver. There you go. Are you good?
You'll find out.
I mean, I hope Weaver's good.
I'm all right.
Weaver, you in on the heist? Let's go. Come on.
What are we taking?
Yeah, what are we stealing?
I don't know.
Other than Oklahoma's playoff hopes.
I think my man Williams is singularly focused.
Brother Jackson is,
I'm going to be pretty useless this week. I'm not going to lie to y'all. Got my mind on Neyland.
You have you ever sat in better seats? I can't believe I'm even asking the question.
No.
Not even close, right?
No. 50-yard line.
I bet you'll have somebody asking you if you want something to drink, Mr. Williams. I mean, I'm serious. I bet you'll have people. I mean, Petey Pie's got people down there, right?
I'm looking forward to the experience.
I hope they got plenty of tissues for all them tears you elites are going to be crying in those suites.
Oh, they'll just go inside and have another beverage, Ken.
You know what the great thing about those elite seats down there, Ken?
What's that?
It once the Sooners whoop on them,
yeah,
it's a much longer walk to the car for them to think about what they've done.
Oh, no, we've got a nice exit.
I am neutral, baby. I am Switzerland at all of this. I'm not picking sides, but I'm going to tell you this. I want to win Nincompoops in the news. Super Talk 99.7.
I'm going to win today,
Nincompoops in the news.
Jackson Williams has given himself another nickname, according to the Super Text line. We've got Y2J, J Willie, Action Jackson, Reaction Jackson. Those are the official.
Fraction
Jackson. And now Honey Buns Williams. Based on your knowledge that a honey bun is a great item to screw with somebody on their automobile because it's hard to get the sugar and the glaze off.
He said to smear it on the back.
Especially if it's raining.
That's what he said. He said smear it on the back window.
Get a little wet. It's over.
Just moot.
I bet you if you poured coffee on it, it'd come off.
You think?
But then you're worrying about breaking your windshield.
You do have to be careful about that.
Please him. No, never mind. I can't. I don't know what this means. I've officially been stumped by a super texter. Tell him to are stealing ice cream. Oh, tell him you are stealing ice cream. We're not stealing ice cream. That stuff will melt. All right, it's time for Nincompoops in the News. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. It's our time to break down news stories that you might not have heard about. Well, identify the Nincompoops and then roll from there. I do not remember who won on Friday, but I think it was me. I think it was me, so I'm going first.
No, I won.
Well, I'm still going first.
You can tell me your story on Friday. You can go first.
If I can tell you the story that I presented to the American people and the state of Tennessee on Friday, you're telling me that I get to go first?
Yes.
All right.
Well, yeah,
all right.
Let's, yes.
You go.
I'm glad you didn't turn that one around on me. All right, man arrested for sending lit cigar through bank drive-thru. Bath, New York is where this comes from. A Bath man was arrested in September after police said he intentionally placed a burning cigar into the money chute at a Steuben County bank and sent it into the employee inside. Jacob R. Frank of Bath was arrested on Monday, September 15th on the charges of assault in the third degree and reckless endangerment in the second degree. Both Class A misdemeanors, as stated in a release from the Village of Bath Police Department. On Monday, officers were sent to the Chumung Canal Trust Bank on West Morris Street in the village of Bath for the report of an employee who had inhaled smoke from the drive-through money tube. Upon arrival at the scene, officers learned that a man, later identified as Frank, had intentionally placed a lit cigar in the bank's transaction tube and sent it to the employee working the drive-through, the release said. Police said that the employee inhaled smoke from the burning cigar, resulting in the need for medical attention. Following more investigating into the incident, Frank was arrested and charged with the above listed crimes. I cannot read today. Frank was given appearance tickets and is scheduled to show up in Bath Village Court in the future.
Was it a regular cigar?
I bet it was a cigarillo.
You think?
Nobody drives around smoking a cigar anymore.
I was hoping that it would, like, a blunt. Take you a hit of that.
I think I would have said weed.
Yeah, probably so.
Plus, if you're going to do that to somebody, you're not going to waste your weed.
So did they say why he put the cigar in that?
No, I want to know more about this.
Like, was he upset?
I'm assuming.
He's disgruntled.
Disgruntled.
Yeah. Well, he wasn't gruntled. I promise you that.
He was disgruntled.
He was disgruntled. Well, now that fellow's facing some charges, I suppose.
Is.
Well, that's what happens.
Well, it could be assault, too, for making that.
Oh, he got an assault charge.
Yeah,
I mean, if you were the teller, I mean, would you elevate this to the cops? I don't think I would.
Depends on how sick you got.
I mean, I don't know. I guess you got to nowadays. You don't know what's in the cigar. You don't know what's going on.
Also, that's got to be a fire hazard of some kind.
I mean, I understand that, but I'm thinking of that little metal tray, right?
No, it's like the tube. When you go.
Oh, yeah. I didn't hear that. Oh, he put it in the tube?
Yeah.
Oh.
So when that person opened it up, it was full of smoke.
Freaking love those tubes, man.
They're so cool.
I want to send other things through those vacuum tubes. Shoop.
Like a cigar.
Shoop.
Maybe he was just curious.
I just love going.
I wonder what happens when I.
Shoop. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
I'll show you.
Shoop. They have those in mail rooms in big cities.
Yeah.
Shoop. Elf.
Yeah, Elf.
Adam.
And then in Polar Express, they ride around in them.
Shoop, shoop. Love those things.
Ken, I think that was just an elevator.
No, it was an elevator, but it was one of those little bank things.
It was a vacuum sealed type of deal, right?
Yeah.
Can't you not breathe in there?
I think this was air conditioned.
It was a cartoon, Jackson. Lighten up.
Hanks.
Lighten up, honey buns.
I made yourself laugh there.
Yeah, I did. I'm sorry. I don't like people that
Can
laugh.
I hear you laughing back
laugh
there?
at their own jokes.
I can't let Brother Jackson know where I park now.
I know. Well,
He's
not this way.
going to take a honey bun to my windshield.
He is.
I would never do that to you, Ken Weaver.
He is. And
thanks, Brother Jackson.
Well, I mean, think of the wife and children.
Now
Jackson.
Matt is getting a honey bun. To
Ken
the car.
is. What? I don't have anything to do with this. I'm playing Florida. A New Jersey woman has pleaded guilty to a 4 a.m. torching of a man's home after he fell asleep inside and stood her up on a booty call.
Oh.
In a court hearing Friday, Taja Russell, 35, copped to aggravated arson, a second-degree felony. In a plea deal, prosecutors have agreed to recommend an 8-year prison term in which Russell will be statutorily required to serve 85% or more than 6.5 years. Russell was indicted on 5 other charges, including attempted murder, aggravated assault. As a part of the deal, prosecutors will move to dismiss those counts when she is sentenced this coming January. As detailed in court records, Russell had traveled to the Woodbury home of victim Curtis Strokes. Pause for effect.
That's a coinkydink.
Who told the police that he, quote, invited the defendant to his residence to have sexual intercourse, end of quote. I think this is actually his name's Stokes. It's not Strokes, but I'm going to keep it at Strokes because it sounds better. I'm just making it up as I go along. I misread it. Strokes added that Russell was a, quote, don't laugh, Murphy. I'm going to start the sentence over again, y'all. Y'all ready? Strokes added that Russell was a side piece with whom he had been having sex on occasion. The pair's pre-dawn communication consisted of Russell telling Stokes, hello, to which he romantically responded, I'm quoting, Bring your ass. End quote. By the time Russell arrived, Stokes had fallen asleep and did not respond to the door. Incensed, Russell sent a text message complaining, "You wasted my money to come out here." Receiving no reply, Russell then texted a series of threats. "You smoked. I see you want to die. I swear to God, I hope you do." Russell then went to a Conoco gas station and purchased lighter fluid, matches, and a cigarette lighter, returned to Stokes' home and set a fire outside of his rear entrance of his house. And he escaped, thankfully, unharmed. Stokes told police he awoke to the smell of smoke and was unable to leave via the door. The fire was too intense. So there you go. Booty call turned into a burn-down situation in New Jersey. That's my nincompoop. Everyone involved, nincompoops for this whole booty call nonsense. Ken Weaver, you're a nincompoop.
Louisiana man pretends to be a judge to get an inmate released from prison. The alleged ruse began in April when Adrian James St. Romain allegedly called the Calashoo Correctional Center in Lake Charles, claiming to be a local judge. He's accused of calling the jail to reduce the bond of inmate Demond Lynn Delahousse Sr. The man on the phone was successfully able to verbally reduce an inmate's bond to be released on recognizance, the sheriff's office said. Delahousse Sr. had enjoyed freedom for 2 months. It wasn't until Delahousse, who was in jail for aggravated assault, according to court records, appeared for a court hearing on July 17th. That's when authorities discovered the release had been granted under false pretenses, and the 46-year-old was immediately rearrested and booked back into the Calashoo Correctional Center. But that's not all. 42-year-old St. Romain was reportedly dedicated to following through with the alleged scheme. He's accused of calling the jail 2 more times in July, again impersonating a judge in an effort to set another fraudulent bond on the same inmate. He was unsuccessful, but detectives began investigating the suspicious calls. St. Romain was eventually named as a suspect who had been calling. St. Romain was arrested, and he is not allowed to use the phone.
That's how we do it.
But apparently, he got that old boy out. That guy was free for 2 months.
I love it.
All he had to do was make a phone call. Yeah, this is Judge such and such.
This is Judge Honey Buns. We're going to need to go ahead and get Weaver released from jail on his own recognizance. Boomer Center.
I love Louisiana names, man. Calashoo, Delahousse,
Jebediah, Bola, Bula, Bula, Boo. Agooga. That's how we play Nincompoos of the News. You can vote Weaver, you can vote Jackson, you can vote Matt Murphy. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Coming up, our official Murphy Movie Mayhem payoff. That is on the way next. Grace Point Healthcare understands that the season has come, right? And you probably get it too. If you've noticed you're feeling a little down, perhaps got the sniffles, maybe you have a cold, or perhaps even you feel like the flu might be coming on. It's cold and flu season in the state of Tennessee. It's officially begun. Well, let me tell you something, folks. It's going on from November to December to January to February. It's not going to end anytime soon. Do you want to wait weeks if you find yourself in the dumps with a sickness to visit your doctor? Or, like Grace Point, do you want same-day or next-day service? Because they provided at Grace Point Healthcare affordable, convenient, and comprehensive medicine delivered the old-fashioned way. You know exactly what you pay when you walk through the doors at Grace Point Healthcare. There are no surprises. You can file with your insurance company for reimbursement, but they don't allow insurance companies to get in the way that they treat you, nor should you. They don't allow pharmacies or insurance companies to dictate what their plan of action is going to be for you. They don't like that. And they don't like long wait times. Plus, any member of your family from newborns to seniors can see at Grace Point Healthcare and ask about the basic Smart Care plan, $99 for adults and $79 for the youngsters. And that can be covered with your HSA. 599-6868, located in the heart of Franklin, 599-6868. Modern medicine delivered the old-fashioned way.
Had a deadly workplace shooting today in Tennessee. Details on that and more coming up at 6 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Not a lot of time, but just enough time to get to this. That's right. In the spirit of nincompoops in the news, we now turn our attention to nincompoops at the movies.
Oh, yeah.
With young Jackson Williams and Matt Murphy. As Jackson and Matt have completed the homework assignment, we assign one another movies on Friday, and then we watch said movies over the weekend, and we give you our reviews on these Mondays. Jackson, your movie was Late Night with the Devil. What did you think?
You know, Matt, first of all, I give you a heartwarming story about a group of people banding together to put on a show. And you know, Ken, you know what Matt gave me?
What did he give you, man?
Satan.
It's in the title. It's right there.
Late Night with the Devil, a movie I didn't expect to like as much as I did.
Yeah, it's good.
It is a possession horror type of movie where essentially in the 1970s, it is a kind of a found footage or a lost broadcast of a show called Night Owls with Jack Devoy. Is that right?
I think so.
Delroy.
Delroy.
That's what it is. Jack Delroy and his show Night Owls, his companion Gus.
Obsession with Johnny Carson.
Obsession with beating Johnny Carson. And he decides to have a Halloween special, and it goes haywire. The movie was very good. It's perfect length for me. A 90-minute movie, and it's nonstop. It just keeps going. You know, you meet the guy, do a little bit of character development in the first 15 minutes or so, and then it's off to the races. You're doing the show.
Just constant escalation, baby. Escalation. Tension.
A lot more kills in this movie than I thought there would be.
Well, you know, and then you got to the part with the worms.
I hated.
That was great.
I hate that scene.
I didn't like that scene either.
It just made me queasy.
Gross.
Because I went back and watched part of it to see if I missed something.
Oh, did you?
And I skipped over the worm scene.
Oh, did you?
I was like, we can fast forward through that. But essentially, there is a demon child, and the demon child floats a chair, and then her head splits open, and she vaporizes half the room.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
And it came out 2 years ago.
How about the skeptic? I loved the dude who played the skeptic, man.
At the end where he's like, okay, all right.
All right.
You know, you got me.
Okie dokie. All right, real quick, because we have to go to the real news. My movie that Jackson gave me was Saturday Night. It was based on the formation of Saturday Night Live and the initial broadcast of Saturday Night Live in October of 1975. I thought it was great. I found myself a little bit distracted. I mean, the characterizations of Dan Aykroyd, Chevy Chase, Gilda Radner, Garrett Morris, I mean, all of those people that we remember was tip top. Those guys did great character work
and the Lorne Michaels guy.
Without coming off as impersonations. They embodied the characters, which was really, really good. I found myself nitpicking whether or not it was factually accurate, which it was not. It was kind of an amalgamation of all of the things that happened during that first season into one night. If you're wondering, if you've seen the movie and you're wondering, yes, I did a fact check, and Milton Berle, yeah, it was true. It was true. If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
Okay, and so I give it 4 out of 5 Murphys.
I give mine 3.5 Jacksons.
All right, well there you go. Real news coming up.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. Breaking news right now out of Southeast Tennessee. Here's Channel 4's Lydia Fielder.
Police say 2 people were killed in a workplace shooting in Cleveland today. Cleveland, if you didn't know, sits just outside of Chattanooga. Police responded here to a Barku plastics plant there just before 10 o'clock. The 2 victims were already dead when police got there. Both were employees at that company. It isn't clear what the shooter's motive was, and that person is still not in custody right now.
Right now in Tennessee, accused quadruple murderer Austin Drummond is going to be moved from the Obion County Jail to a state prison ahead of his trial due to repeated disruptions. Jail officials there in Obion testified that Drummond's behavior, including drug possession and violent outbursts, has strained staff and jeopardized safety. A judge approved the transfer, though the location of the prison has not been disclosed. And as the government shutdown drags into its 27th day, the largest union of federal workers says it's time to get agencies reopened. The union's call being seen as a signal to Democrats that the shutdown's gone on long enough, and House Speaker Mike Johnson agrees.
They're doing it to appease their far-left Marxist base. That's the headline. That's why. That's why we're all in this mess. That's why the American people are suffering pain.
Union says the larger debate should continue after the government reopens. It's something that Republican leaders have been arguing for weeks. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. East Loop, downtown going westbound. We've got a crash right there at Shelby Avenue. Elsewhere, looks for Bellshire right now. Police say there's a crash 24 eastbound at Briley Parkway North. I'm Ken Weaver.
Hello, friends. Welcome back. Final hour of the Matt Murphy Radio Show underway right now, 6:07. Thank you for being with us on Super Talk 99.7 WTN, covering a number of stories for you this afternoon to include this monster hurricane. Does this hurricane have a name? I've not seen.
It's Melissa.
Melissa?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet Melissa. Come on. Say it is.
She ain't sweet.
Say it's not so, Melissa. Cat 5, Ken?
Cat 5, 175 mile per hour winds.
Yeah, that's a doozy. We've not seen many affect the Caribbean or the coast of the United States of America thus far this season, but obviously this one's going to pop the Caribbean, and who knows what happens after that. We'll keep you up to date on it. It's just of interest because it's such a huge, an absolutely huge storm, and you just pray for the folks down there in Jamaica, those visiting, and otherwise the natives down there. They are truly, as they say, battening down the hatches in advance of that incredible storm. In the meantime, there are a number of SNAP beneficiaries that are battening down the hatches in advance of the possibility of losing their SNAP benefits. Here's the interesting thing. I have people in my personal life that, for one reason or another, receive SNAP benefits. And I understand that this is a fail-safe that is designed by our government to prevent people from, truly starving. And I have made my position known on it. You heard it last hour that I believe that we rely far too much on the federal government for these types of entitlements and far too little on where we can appropriately take care of the least of these, which would be charitable organizations, community groups, church organizations, and the like, and obviously family members and friends. That said, I'm not immune from the realities of the world, and I'm not immune from the fact that there are people on November 1st that would be dramatically impacted, and they would have to resort to go into places like, MANA organizations or other sorts of food bank organizations, whether they be church-based or charitable-based, and obviously that is a resource that you should utilize if you find yourself in that situation. So we've been talking about that and keeping you up to date on it. Marsha Blackburn has filed a piece of legislation that would keep these benefits flowing. The Democrats do not wish to do that. And by now I've made it clear that I am sad that there are so many people dependent on SNAP benefits, and I think we should move to try to – it should be our goal as a society to have nobody on SNAP benefits. It should be our goal as a society to not need to set this money aside through the federal government to try to make sure that people don't go hungry at night. There are way too many people on SNAP benefits, too many able-bodied people on SNAP benefits, but that doesn't mean that for some, it is not absolutely necessary, and they are not, for lack of a better way of putting it, deserving. So we're talking about that. We're also talking about East Wing memories. Memories. In the corners of my mind, misty, watercolored memories of the way things were. Liberals over the weekend expressed their shock and dismay, and they have since the demolition began, that President Donald J. Trump would have the unmitigated goal to destroy such an integral part of American history as the East Wing. I would suggest to you that the vast majority of these same liberals who are lamenting the loss of the East Wing don't know what's in the East Wing. And never did. Did you know that before there have been several, and I pointed them out on my social media platform. Primarily, I'm on the X machine, which is just an absolute awful place. It's a cesspool of awfulness and depravity, and I love it. I absolutely love it. Wallow in it. You can join me there at Matt Murphy Show. Tell a friend or a neighbor about us at Matt Murphy Show. I'm far more coarse on the X machine than I am on this radio program. I mean, that is Jackson. You follow me, right? I follow you. You follow me?
For now.
Would you say that I'm more coarse on the X?
Yes.
Okay. I think it's fair. So I wrote the following note. Hey, liberals, let's crowdsource our feelings of loss regarding the death of the East Wing. Leave me your thoughts and memories here for archival. Favorite part? Favorite room? Favorite memory? And I got to admit that I'm getting a lot of funny responses, and I'm getting a lot of snotty responses. I'm not getting a lot of real responses, because I would suggest to you that the vast majority of the American people have no idea what has ever gone on in the East Wing. The East Wing, for those who do not know, contains offices for the First Lady and her staff, offices for legislative affairs, offices for calligraphers. That's that fancy writing, Jackson. You know how they do? Calligraphy. You ever seen those folks that can do that fancy? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Like that? Yeah. Oh, it's swanky. And I don't know how they do it. They use those fancy $28 pens. It also serves as the public entrance to the White House for visitors that are there on tours and whatnot. It also includes a family movie theater and a home to the Jacqueline Kennedy Garden. The East Wing, originally built in 1902 as an East Terrace and was reconstructed in 1942, containing office space, and at one time it had a pool for Franklin Delano Roosevelt, which was not just recreational in nature, but therapeutic for FDR, as he obviously had his leg issues during his time in the White House. For a long time, presidents of the United States of America have lamented not having a ballroom consistent with the grandeur of the White House itself and with the space available to hold the type of state dinners and other gatherings that would prevent them from having to go to, quote, big tent and have a tent set up on the lawn of the White House. Instead of applauding Donald Trump in his decision to disrupt activities at the White House for the purpose of building an appropriate ballroom, the liberal Democrats have decided to shame him to the point that Eric Holder, I'm sorry, not Eric Holder. I have another story about Eric Holder regarding the state of Tennessee. Eric Swalwell has written on his social media platform that any Democrat seeking the presidential nomination in 2028, you better listen up. This is from a sitting representative on the Democrat side of the aisle from California, Representative Eric Swalwell. Representative Swalwell says, don't even think of seeking the Democratic nomination for president unless you pledge to take a wrecking ball to the Trump ballroom on day one. To which I respond, Democrats, please continue acting like this. Please continue acting like petulant children, throwing a fit. Eric Swalwell reminds me of any number of children that I've seen on the cereal aisle of my Publix grocery store. You know what I'm saying? You see, they want Fruit Loops. They don't want the healthy cereal. They want Cocoa Puffs. They want Count Chocula. They want Sugar Smacks. That's right, I said Sugar Smacks, not Honey Smacks. And when they don't get what they want because they do not have the proper discipline, they throw a fit. And you see the liberal Democrats in Washington, D.C., Eric Swalwell, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and the rest of the squad, Hakeem Jeffries, Nancy Pelosi, and then on the Senate side, all of those aged senators. They never thought Donald Trump was going to be president from the first time around. And they sure as hell never thought that he would get reelected, but he did. And they didn't like it. And so now they're stamping their feet. And there is no good that Donald Trump can do, even when the good is obvious and apparent. What liberal Democrat gave Donald Trump credit for ending the war in the Middle East? Have y'all thought about that any time? Have you thought about that for a moment? The evil terrorist organization Hamas attacked and slaughtered Israeli people. Now, I don't care what you think about the state of Israel. We'll set that aside for a moment. Jewish people were slaughtered at the hands of the Hamas terrorists. And the state of Israel responded, and Benjamin Netanyahu responded. And I don't care what you think about that either for a moment. I mean, set aside your belief that it is genocide this and genocide that. There was a tremendous amount of bloodshed going on both sides. Israelis were killing Palestinians in droves. Israelis were killing Hamas in droves. Hamas, in turn, they were killing Israeli people. They were killing the IDF. And what happened? Joe Biden says there was nothing that they could do about it. Just like Joe Biden and his administration promised us that there was nothing we could do about the southern border. There was nothing we could do about the drug problems coming through the southern border. Nothing we could do about the fentanyl issues that were going on in the United States of America. And Donald Trump, like he did on those issues, tackled the Middle East and did something about it. And did one damn Democrat give him credit? Now, there were a few in the mainstream media that gave lip service to the idea that this is a good thing. But otherwise, Democrats just remained silent on what might be the singular greatest foreign policy accomplishment in my lifetime. And I lived through the end of the Cold War. And they give him no credit whatsoever. Similarly, this guy decides to do what everyone in D.C. has said was needed, and that is to build a ballroom. And suddenly, and I should note, the taxpayers aren't going to be on the hook for it. Oh, no. Donald Trump says he'll get others to pay for it. He will get donors to pay for it. So imagine this now. An East Wing that is of no significant consequence to the operations of Washington, D.C. and the White House, right? There's no Oval Office in the East Wing. This is not the East Room of the official residence. There is no recognition of historical significance or importance to the point that you would want to preserve portions of the East Wing. Donald Trump does something that has long been needed. Swalwell demands that you take a non-taxpayer-funded ballroom that Trump is going to construct and demolish it at taxpayer expense and rebuild what? So imagine this. This conversation, which is a nothing burger, an absolute nothing burger in the grand scheme of things, went from he doesn't have the legal authority to do this. Oh, Donald Trump can't do this. How dare he? Well, he did it. To, oh, he lied about it. He didn't tell us he was doing this, which we have receipts. He most certainly did say that he was altering it. Now, the plans did change. They did change. And what was going to be refurbishment and additions became an out-and-out demolition once the individuals got in there and recognized what they were dealing with. So we go from legality to awareness, from awareness to cost. And when Donald Trump said, well, this isn't costing the American people anything. I'm going to pay for it. I'm going to collect money and have others pay for it. And now the liberal Democrats are demanding donor lists. It's almost as if they don't care that some good is being accomplished. It's almost, if I didn't believe any better, all about Donald Trump and every and anything he does being bad. Once again, I wish that Donald Trump would declare his support of oxygen. For if he did, I believe most Democrats in Washington, D.C. would begin the process of holding their breath. I'm going to talk about Venezuela. For those of you who do not believe that I ever criticize the Trump administration, and I know some of you liberals listen for opportunities for me to criticize them, it's about to come because I don't know what we're doing in Venezuela. I don't have a problem with targeted strikes to try to break the backs of the drug cartels. But I think nation building is a bad idea. And it seems that's what we're about to start doing. It's 21 after the hour on Super Talk. Hello, friends. It's Matt Murphy, and I want to talk to you for a moment about Men of Valor. Men of Valor is a ministry which is primarily funded by individuals, families, and church groups. The Men of Valor ministry allows us to win men in prison over to the teachings and discipleship of Jesus Christ so that they can re-enter society as men of integrity. Did you know that 90+% of the men that are currently in prison are going to get out? What type of men do you want out? Do you want men that have learned to be hardened criminals within the system, or do you want men of godliness? The army of staff and volunteers at Men of Valor directly minister to the incarcerated by way of Bible study, discipleship group, chapel service, concerts, classes on manhood, one-on-one mentoring. And it works, friends. Men of Valor lowers recidivism rates in the state of Tennessee. This is such a win-win because ultimately your gift to Men of Valor turns men from takers into givers, turns men into godly citizens and good neighbors, and gets them out of the prison system where we're spending so much of our hard-earned tax dollars. Men of Valor maintains such close relationships with those that they have ministered that oftentimes Men of Valor graduates become Men of Valor employees. It's such a wonderful thing to see. I want you to go to movministry.com. That's movministry.com to find out more about our friends at the wonderful organization that is Men of Valor.
Selling your home can be stressful, but it doesn't have to be. Get a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. There are no showings, no open houses, no stress. Work with the #1 real estate team in the U.S. and close with confidence. Go to markspain.com today.
There he is. I believe Ken Weaver to be the straw that stirs the drink. I think that would mean that I am the drink. Does that mean that you're the cup, Jackson?
Sure.
Or the ice cubes?
I'd like to be ice.
Speaking of drinks, have you decided what beverages you'll be taking with you on the big excursion this Saturday?
Oh, yes. Lots.
LOTS?
Yes.
That's not a brand name, is it?
Nope, just a bunch of them.
That's just an amount. That's a categorical amount. 615-737-9986. Robert has a thought on the ballroom. Then we'll get to Ricky. Oh, no, hold on, Robert. Ricky's held for a long, long time. Ricky, I apologize for your thank you for your patience. How are you?
Thank you. I appreciate it. You were talking about how these congressmen, senators, and up the ring, they get rich. I think most, I enjoy your show, first thing I want to tell you, and mostly it's through the lobbyists. directly or indirectly, I think they enrich people, and the government is basically 80% run by lobbyists. They write most of the laws, and I feel like if we ban lobbyists from the Congress, Senate, and limit term to about 4 years or so, then I think a lot of good would be done for the people of this country. Short of that, I mean, it's impossible to do anything when they are funded both sides of aisle by these people who give them money, and then they work for them for 2, 4, or 6 years. That's my opinion, Tariq.
Well, I love the idea of lessening the influence on the political lobbyists that are in D.C. Ricky, have you had an opportunity to tour Washington or be up there for any length of time?
Yes.
So you know the answer to this, but for those that haven't, some of the most palatial buildings, I mean, forget the Lincoln Memorial and forget the White House and forget the Capitol. I mean, those are beautiful, beautiful structures. But some of the most beautiful, palatial, expensive structures in Washington, D.C. are lobbying organizations.
Absolutely. I agree.
Yeah, and they build those incredible structures on the backs of the American people because they influence that much legislation. It's that important to them. So you're exactly right. We need to do what we can within the confines of the Constitution to limit the ability for lobbyists to influence legislation on the levels that they are. I don't disagree with that at all.
Okay, sure, I agree 100% there.
Well, I mean, but I think the way that I would start cracking that, though, Ricky, and thanks for your telephone call, and thanks for the patience there. You waited a long time, and I appreciate you. The pesky First Amendment gets a little in our way because we are all, after all, special interests. And we, after all, have the ability, if money is equitable to speech, and it is, we have the ability to pull our money together and to appoint a designee, which would become then a lobbyist, to go and represent our interests to the American government. And that is embedded in the founding of our country. So how do we de-incentivize lobbying? First and foremost, I would pass the fair tax. I believe that with the passage of the fair tax, which is a national consumption tax, you would eliminate, 60% of the lobbying in Washington, D.C. I think it's a guess. It's a wag. That would be a wild-ass guess, but I'd wag that about 60% of lobbying in Washington, D.C. is tax-based lobbying. Lobbying for this industry or that industry to receive some level of tax abatement or tax break or tax loophole for the purpose of giving them overall an advantageous profile regarding their tax rates. Well, you and I know that businesses do not pay taxes, but it is a pass-through, and in the competitive nature of business, they try to lower their tax burden for the purpose of getting a competitive advantage amongst their industry or even against other industry. Well, if you pass the fair tax, then there are no corporate taxes anymore. There are no tax rates to lobby for. Without getting into it this deeply now, I would suggest to you that would eliminate a lot of the trouble. And then we can talk about working on the rest. It's 31 after the hour on Super Talk. Hello, friends. Matt Murphy for USS. That's United Structural Systems. We finally got some rain in the community all across Middle Tennessee. There was some rain falling over the course of the weekend, and that's good news. We needed the rain, but if you have waterproofing issues in your home, it's the last thing that you wanted to deal with because you're probably dealing now with a musty or moldy, mildewy smell, and you don't know what to do with it. Well, if you don't know what to do with it, if you've noticed foundation issues that you are concerned about, maybe you just want to close your eyes and pretend that they don't exist. I promise you that's not going to make them go away, but this will. A telephone call with USS, United Structural Systems. When USS comes out to your home, you get problem solvers. They want to eliminate the issue that is before you. They want to solve the problem, not add to it, and they're not ever, ever, ever going to tell you that something's going on down the road that isn't currently happening to your home. As a matter of fact, they want to give you peace of mind. They consider themselves in the peace of mind business. USS is the company that I trust that can help satisfy you and the issues with your home. And they have 30,000 referrals to back them up on that claim. 30,000 referrals that'll tell you that homeowners simply trust USS. Keeping homes stable and dry since 1994. They're the go-to place in Middle Tennessee. USS 615-488-7855, 488-7855, or online USSTN.com. Hello, friends. Matt Murphy for Nashville Safe House. Have you been thinking about a safe? Have you been listening to me? Well, I hesitate to ask, do you not know where to go? Because if you listen to the Matt Murphy show with any regularity, you know there's only one shop to go to when it comes to safe buying in this community. And that, my friends, is Nashville Safe House. Nashville Safe House has over 200 safes on their showroom floor. And I just went by. I saw the Murphy Special. I certainly hope you guys have bought the Murphy Special by now. It's right there in the lobby. I'm very proud. I'm in the lobby. Donald Trump's in the lobby. There's no more Joe Biden in the lobby. There's no more Kamala Harris in the lobby. Their days of being the employee of the year, long gone. They're out of there. Trump's there. Murphy's there with the Murphy Special. And you need to be there too. Plus, when you walk through the showroom doors, you'll see what I'm talking about. A maze of incredible safes of all shapes and sizes. And they'll find something for you, or they'll help you select something that's right for you and the family. They can customize your selection. They can figure it out, and they'll find one for you. Oh, by the way, if it's not on the showroom floor, they've got another 300 or 400 in their warehouse as well. They have the right safe, whether it's Browning, Fort Knox, Champion, Superior, Rhino. They've got one for you, and they've got it at the right price as well. Go to NashvilleSafeHouse.com, NashvilleSafeHouse.com, or stop by and see them today at 4th Avenue South. All right, real quick on the issue of I got to play this real quick because I promised to do it earlier, and I have not done it yet. This is the type of gaslighting that we get with the political left. Give me a little audio, a little video here, Jackson. So before we get back to your telephone calls, it's 38 minutes after the hour. The Murphy Show continues. This is from Nicole Wallace. I guess this is on MSNBC, or maybe it's her podcast. I don't know what this is. But it's Nicole Wallace of MSNBC. And it's J.B. Pritzker, who is the governor of Illinois, and he's running for president of the United States in 2028. Make no mistake about that. Jackson, we've well established you're great at what you do. You push the knobs. You control this experience. You make sure that everything that comes out of our speaker sounds as good as possible. But let's not pretend that the world of politics is necessarily your forte. You are a sports guy, but we're kind of slowly exposing you to the ultimate blood sport. Is that fair? Is that a fair characterization?
Fair.
If I asked you, in your opinion, have any, and by the way, I don't ask Jackson what his politics are. Do I? Have I ever asked you what your politics are?
No.
No, I never have. Because frankly, I think I would be very disillusioned. Because I think Jackson would say something along the lines of, I'm a Vol man, or something.
Probably.
You probably like Donald Trump because he's characterized as an orange man, and you like big orange.
I like orange.
Yeah. But if I asked you, Jackson, have the Democrats ever compared Donald Trump to Hitler?
Yes.
That was an immediate yes.
Well, I've seen it.
And once again, fair to say that you're not laser, like that's kind of my job. You're not laser focused on the content of all this every day, but you've seen it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Nicole Wallace would like to disabuse you, as they say, of that notion.
I haven't suggested that Donald Trump is Hitler. I wouldn't say
I don't
that
think any Democrat has. I actually, and I think it's a smear that they project back on to critics. But J.D. Vance called Donald Trump cultural heroin. He called him America's Hitler. I mean, the attacks on Donald Trump as a fascist came from 3 generals who worked for him. I mean, the most brutal critiques have come from people that have seen him far more closely than you or I.
You see this? You see this? So Nicole Wallace and J.B. Pritzker would have you know that they, the liberals, have never compared Donald Trump to Hitler or a fascist or fascism. That's the right doing that. And they point to J.D. Vance and generals. But once again, they don't want you to believe. Now, I asked Jackson, and I didn't tell Jackson what I was playing. Jackson had no idea what was about to come. I just said, Jackson, have the Democrats ever compared Trump to Hitler? Well, yeah, of course. Everybody knows it. Everybody's heard it. Do not believe your lying eyes or your lying ears because Nicole and JB say...
I haven't suggested that Donald Trump is Hitler. By
the way, JB Pritzker out and out called Donald Trump a Nazi last week.
Wouldn't say
I don't think any Democrat has. I actually... and I think it's a...
I mean, these people are repugnant. They are lying liars. I don't think any Democrat has. What? This gets me more animated than anything that I do on a daily basis. That they treat you like Boo Boo the Fool. Nothing will get me angrier than these sanctimonious, holier than thou, my poop doesn't stink, ivory tower, elitist media types like Nicole Wallace, who wouldn't know the real world if it hit her on the back of the head like a Lodge frying pan, telling me that I shouldn't believe what I've seen, what I shouldn't believe what I've heard. No Democrats have. What in the hell are you talking about? Just what in the hell are you talking about? Over and 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 over again. This was today. She said that today. So I'll be coming up with a nice montage. Oh, as a matter of fact, hold on. Pull me back up one more. Let me just give you this real quick. I didn't do this montage. I didn't have to. Libs of TikTok did this one for me.
I haven't suggested that Donald Trump is Hitler. The dangers that we saw in Nazi Germany are the dangers that we need to react to now. Well, I think everybody understands that at this point we've got an authoritarian in office. It doesn't take very long to tear apart a constitutional republic. Indeed, the Nazis did it in 53 days. That's not the country we live in. You shouldn't have to walk around with papers the way that they did in the early days of Nazi Germany. I do not invoke the specter of Nazis lightly. I'm watching with a foreboding dread what is happening in our country right now. A president who watches a plane go down in the Potomac and suggests without facts or findings that a diversity hire is responsible for the crash. The authoritarian playbook is laid bare here.
How can you possibly compare what happened in Germany in World War II to what's going on here in the United States?
Well, we're talking about the death of a constitutional republic. That's what happened in Germany in 1933, 1934. And we're seeing today that you've got an administration in Washington that's ignoring court orders.
Now, you understand something. You know what J.B. Pritzker would say here? You know what his out is? This is the way these smarmy, elitist, just so-and-sos. Well, I never compared him to Hitler directly. No, you just said that he was the head of an authoritarian Nazi-esque regime and that everything that he's doing is similar to the fashion that Adolf Hitler rose to power in the 1930s in Nazi Germany. Yeah, but I never said he was Hitler. Shut up. Just stop treating us like we're idiots. And this is on the heels of 2 assassination attempts. This is on the heels. They killed Charlie Kirk. They're the ones that's violent. They're the ones that are initiating violence, and they haven't slowed up in their rhetoric. Robert is next. Robert, thank you for your patience.
Oh, no worries. If you hadn't taken Ricky's call first, I would have been upset. I deserve my equal opportunity to be put on hold. Thank you.
Well, you got it. So
I stopped to think about the ballroom the other day, and I got to thinking of what would be the best thing to name it to help protect it in the future. And considering the kind of events that will take place there will be turning points for the future for everybody, I thought, why not just go ahead and name it the Charlie Kirk Memorial Hall? And then I figure anyone tries to touch it after that, it's just the whole public opinion is probably going to go downhill if anyone tries to do anything to it afterwards.
Well, I mean, I get the sentiment of what you're saying. I'm typically against naming national monuments. And this is going to sound odd because there's so many of them in Washington, D.C. that are named after individuals.
I mean, it's just a suggestion. So
No, I get it. I mean, I think eventually it'll be named the Donald J. Trump Ballroom, and then the Democrats will rename it, and it'll become a political hot potato. But I understand the sentiment where it comes from. I don't know that I would agree with that. I mean, I love Charlie Kirk. And I love everything he stands for and stood for. And I understand this moment in time, it's very pressing on us that he gave his life ultimately for the freedoms and liberties that we enjoy. I mean, I would prefer to name it the American Freedom Ballroom or something that doesn't reference an individual would be my preference. Even Donald Trump. I don't think that Donald Trump should name it after himself. I think he will, but I don't think he should. Joel is next up. Hey, Joel, what's up?
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. I hope you are.
I think I'm good. I think I know why Trump is messing around in the Ukraine right now. I mean, he's doing it for multiple reasons. I mean, the strikes on the drug dealers, I do think, is to deter drug dealers. Okay, but the recent talk, the sending the carrier group down to Venezuela, he's posturing to basically tell Putin not to think about putting missiles in Venezuela while we're also thinking about putting missiles in the Ukraine. He's not going to do anything. He's just posturing.
Yeah,
That's my take on it.
No, and I have the same take. My concern is, Maduro is not going to go quietly into that good night. I understand that we would love to see regime change happen naturally, and Maduro is on very shaky ground with his people. He has taken the opulence of that. I mean, well, it was Hugo Chavez that did it. He took over and doubled down on it. But they took the opulence of that country. They took the wonderful opportunities that country had based on its natural resources and other factors, and they destroyed it. And they've turned it into a hellscape. And the people have had enough of it, and the people want new leadership. They are afraid to come out and say it. And I think what we as a nation would love to see, we would love to see that naturally happen, and then we would give an ability to support materially a democratically elected presidency in that country and a revamping of that nation's government. So I do think that that's our effort. And in the midst of all of that, we're trying to protect the American people by destroying the spillover of the narco state that is Venezuela, right?
Right.
And
yes, and there is an opposition lined up to take control, and so he's trying to maybe to shepherd that process and make the dominoes fall, but he's not. I don't think he's going to directly intervene.
Well, I hope not, because if there is, I mean, the idea is, and Joel, you obviously have studied it enough, you know this. The idea is, it's kind of you break it, you buy it, that if we actively engage in and support regime change, then we owe it to the people that we put into political power or that we allow to ascend to political power to protect them. And that would necessarily involve boots on the ground. And I don't want it. I don't want it.
Right.
Joel, great call. Thank you for making it. 51 after the hour. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Alpha and Omega, they are your computer team. Friends, if you're a business owner, have you not called Alpha and Omega just yet? My goodness gracious, let's get this done, folks. Alpha and Omega can take all of this weight off of your shoulders. They've done it for so many different business owners in the past, small, medium, large-sized businesses. Here's the deal. If you're managing your IT yourself, or if you're unsatisfied with your current IT, it's probably weighing on you, right? You're concerned about cybersecurity, or you're concerned about efficacy with emails, or you're concerned about performance when it comes to your internet or printing systems, whatever it might be. Allow Alpha and Omega to talk with you. Sit down in your office and explain to you how they do their business. They are a complete IT resource that can take all of this weight off of you. They perform 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They have emergency services that are available but rarely needed. They take complete ownership by helping every aspect of your IT, and they are local, which means when you call someone on their hotline, they are local to this community. They're not in some faraway country or in some faraway state. 615-784-0096, 615-784-0096, or go to ANO.net. That's ANO.net, and tell them Matt Murphy sent you to Alpha and Omega. Last weekend was Pumpkin Fest in Franklin. Big times at Savory Spice. Holly and David say that they saw a lot of you out and about, and that several of you mentioned that I sent you to Savory Spice. How about that? Well, if you've not gone just yet, go. You need them in your life this holiday season, right? And it's holiday season. It's official. When we reach the week of Halloween, then there you go with Thanksgiving, and here comes Christmas. And if you've not gotten all of the spices that you're going to need for all of that cooking and all of that baking that you're doing, what are you waiting on? Let's go to Savory Spice. 1, it's not more expensive. 2, it's better quality. 3, they've got the exotic flavors that no one else has. 4, they're good local people. I mean, these are reasons alone to go out to Savory Spice. Get some cinnamon. The salted caramel sprinkle is it's unlike anything I've ever had. And now I'm sprinkling it on everything. Like I put it on ice cream, I'm putting it on this, that, and the other thing. I'm getting fatter just thinking about it. It's at Savory Spice. Plus, they have the maple syrup sprinkle. That's right, you heard me correctly. The maple syrup sprinkle, we put those on Brussels sprouts the other night, and they were delicious. Delicious. Savory Spice. They're located just off the square in Franklin. Go by and see them today and tell Holly, David, and the rest of the crew that Matt Murphy sent you to the one and only Savory Spice. Hashtag never CNN. We call it hashtag never CNN because you should never watch CNN. It is a garbage network full of garbage people spewing, well, garbage. I watch so you do not have to. It is an occupational hazard that I take upon myself and that I put upon my back. Right now, they are referring to, what is it, Hurricane Melissa? That's right. They're referring to Hurricane Melissa as the world's strongest storm in history. Not recorded history, just ever. Which I'm like, how did they know that? But that's what they're referring to it. I mean, I'm sure it's a strong storm, 175-mile-an-hour winds. I mean, it's an insanely strong storm, and I pray for all of the folks down there. Brian is next up. Hey, Brian, how are you?
How you doing, sir?
I'm great, Brian. Thank you for calling.
So, what I don't understand is why they just don't call it the White House. It's always been the White House, regardless of any renovation, any steps they take. It's 1600 Pennsylvania. That's what it's always been. That's what's going to remain to be. They can modify it however they want. There's no telling what kind of renovations that might happen there.
I agree with you, and hopefully that's what we will do. We will just call it the White House Ballroom. I feel that it will be named after Trump because I feel like I know Donald Trump as well as anybody. And then eventually somebody will rename it or whatever, and we'll call it the White House Ballroom. That's going to wrap it up for a Monday. We're getting out of here. Mark Levin is up next. Until tomorrow's edition starting high 3, Matt Murphy speaking and saying, have a great evening. Hug your loved ones. So long, everybody.